Welcome to the Positively Star Wars Senate podcast. This is Obi-Wan Kenobi. May the Force be with you.
Looky, Senator. Decent Jedi arriving.
Let's make this our best show ever.
I will sign no treaty, Senator.
I am the Senate.
This is the way.
So, hello, Star Wars fans, and welcome to the latest episode of the Positively Star Wars Senate podcast. This episode is recorded on Sunday, the 30th of April, 2023, using the powerful dyad of the Force, which pairs two Force-sensitive beings, making them one with the Force, and showing a connection that spans across time and space. Microsoft Skype. My name is Stephen, the Chancellor of this Senate, the obligatory Brit contingent of this otherwise American crew, as we all get together to talk positively about Star Wars for roughly the next hour or so. This episode is brought to you by IG-12, the repurposed mech created by a crew of Ansanian droid smiths from the parts of the assassin droid IG-11. Yes.
Yes, what?
Yes.
Yes. But before we get going proper, it's time to hear a quick word from our sponsors. Right, okay. Thank you, sponsors, and onwards and upwards. And to start off this episode, before we get to introduce people, I have got a little competition that you will get the answers for at the end of this episode. So here are the questions. Think about it, and we'll have the answer at the end. So first of all, I have a quote. And my quote quiz for this episode is, who said this? I believe that pursuit of knowledge is the most noble thing someone can do. I believe that pursuit of knowledge is the most noble thing someone can do. And
Jabba the Hutt.
Can't remember.
Yep. Can you remember? We will have the answer at the end of the episode. Stay tuned. So, Raz, I am in the UK. I am joined this month by my positive friends across that great expanse of the Atlantic Ocean in the United States of America. I am joined by Ricky.
Hello.
Ron.
Greetings and salutations, fellow senators. Chancellor.
That's me. Yep. And Ryan.
Hello there.
Otherwise known as the 3 R's.
Back again.
The 3 R's. Yep. We're going to talk about the Mando finale, the last 3 episodes, the ones we haven't covered yet. We'll have a look at Jedi Survivor, which is out, and we will look at May the 4th be with you, when we will be getting ourselves some Visions Season 2 and the Young Jedi Adventures, which I know we'll all be, especially Ron, will be tuning into as soon as they're released. But as ever, before we get going and dipping ourselves into the fullness of Star Wars goodness, we shall go around the great big table that spans the great big ocean and see what everybody's been up to in Star Wars land for the last 30 days. So I shall get my bottle of water and we will hear from Ricky.
Yeah, so I've been spending last month prepping for Jedi Survivor, which finally arrived yesterday. I didn't get it on pre-order day, but I got it on yesterday. So I was surprised because I thought I was going to wait till Monday. So I played a little bit of that yesterday. Picked up some vintage, I guess it is vintage, episode 1 merch from some from local shop here. I got a Padme doll that you can do her hair, which was interesting. And then I was trying to get my daughter into it, but I think she's past the doll phase. And then I got a TIE fighter from Force Awakens, but that was pretty cool. I got that pretty cheap. And a couple other figures, a Ki-Adi Mundi with the purple lightsaber, because I guess that's what he had initially in the beginning. But yeah, besides that, I've just been watching the celebrations stuff. I think I'm on day 3 now, so just getting through all the panels and everything. But yeah, that's pretty much been it. Just trying to get through Celebration and was waiting for the game to come out. So, oh, and then I finished the other two books. I'm just waiting for Path of Vengeance to come out, which I
The High
don't think
Republic.
I've not been able to pre-order the audio book from Audible because it's not on there at all. So I'm kind of confused.
Yeah, I've been
Which-
hearing a lot of things going on with Audible in that book specifically, so I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It wasn't there when I last looked, but that was a while ago.
Yeah, no, I looked last night and it was not there still. So
We'll have another look now. As we hear from Ron.
Greetings, everyone. My bit of Star Wars has been a bit late. Obviously, watching everything, just soaking up all the content that was the remainder of Bad Batch and the Mandalorian, and then obviously the Celebration stuff. I've been like Ricky, just sort of throwing that on in the background and just letting the stuff play. Some of it I obviously specifically watch, but let that stuff sort of play out just to soak in, see if I catch anything. Mostly the vendors. That's the kind of stuff that got skipped at the time, but it's kind of neat to go back and see that stuff, see what they have to talk about on the show floor, and just see what all was going on. Not much in the way of picking anything up, but did find a couple of finds at a local Target. The most recent line that is the Micro Machines. It's not called Micro Machines. I can't think of what it's called off the top of my head, but found a number of those things at the wonderful Target clearance discounted price. The gunships, the clone trooper gunships, have been finding. Not marked down, but if you price scan them, you can find that they're actually down to, I don't know, $7-8, something great for the Halloween treat fodder when that time comes around for the year. So always fun to find something, something big or something capital like that will really stand out for when someone gets that handed to them. So, but other than that, I think it's been pretty light. It's mostly been a bit of a content thing for me here the past month.
Very good. Thank you.
And it's still in the box.
Yeah, I wasn't going to ask you about that.
Got it in before you.
Very good. Very good. It's best bit. Price is doubling by the day, I should think. I was just looking for Path of Vengeance as we're talking. Yeah, it's still not on Audible. I can order the book though. Actually, it's at a reasonable price. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I won't. I don't know. We should see. Things change in the days ahead. Okay, Ryan.
All right, my Star Warsing was, along with many other people, I got my Star Wars Timelines book, which I pre-ordered months ago for like $46, and when it released, it was down to like $32 or $36. So I was pretty happy with that price drop, considering how heavy the book is. It is a big book. The thing weighs like almost 5 pounds. Like, it is a big book. So I'll give them that. It has a lot of content for its price. When I've seen $25 and $30 books that are like 30 pages, and I'm like, well, I'm not buying a pop-up book for that much money if it only has less than 30 pages. But this thing is hundreds of pages, a ton of content. I think I've read pretty much only up through the High Republic part of it so far, but it's really good. It's just a key piece of information where it has stuff from comics, Rebels, Resistance, Clone Wars, which is the big reason I want it. Was the big reason I wanted it, just so I can kind of fill in that era too. And it's definitely doing everything for me. So I very much enjoy that book. I recommend it to anybody that can. And it's a good price right now. Like I said, $35 on certain online sellers for that many pages is definitely worth it. I also finished the High Republic Phase 2 Wave 2 adult book Cataclysm. I finished that just a couple days ago. And I'm jumping back over to the middle grade book, Quest for Planet X, as Ricky suggested. It had spoilers, so I just stopped reading it, and I'm just going to get back into it. I'm well past halfway when I stopped, so yeah, I got like 8 more chapters to go, 9 more chapters.
You're on chapter 22.
Oh, neat. Thanks for staring over my shoulder. So, but yeah, it's so finished Cataclysm, great book. High Republic Phase 2 is very good so far. I'm really excited for Path of Vengeance. And since it's a young adult book, I usually don't buy those. My library gets them pretty quick, so I'm hoping I'm not going to have the same troubles that you guys are when they just release an ebook, because all their young adult books have just been releasing within the first week of release. So I'm hoping they keep with that schedule, because the adult books takes months for them to get.
Yeah, because I got Path of Deceit. Like I pre-ordered that. No, that's why I'm kind of wild. Like the next one's not already on there.
Yeah, it is definitely a big mystery. I've seen a lot of people bring it up online, and really nobody has an answer type of thing. So I thought it was just a UK thing because I know they've had a lot of problems with pre-orders. But it really seems like it's all over the place now. So people don't know what's going to happen come May 4th if they just buy it on the day, or if they're, I mean, maybe you have to wait till May to pre-order it. I don't know, which at the time of recording is what, tomorrow? So I don't know. Hopefully it clears up for everybody. And then,
Usually not that late. Usually every other one I've pre-ordered weeks before.
oh yeah, that's why everyone's not sure what the big mystery is. So I
Mm.
mean, hopefully you'll at least be able to get it the day it releases. So that'd be kind of terrible if it didn't.
Yeah, it's gonna kind of suck if they actually don't release it on time. I have to wait because I've been on a roll with these audiobooks. I've been pretty much enjoying them. So
Yeah, they've been great. And then miraculously, I finished Rebels finally. I finally pushed through it, like 6 episodes to go or something like that. And I was like, you know what? I better just knock this out with all this content coming. So finished Rebels.
Wasn't that bad after all, was it?
It was okay.
You get quite used to the animation and the shiny stormtroopers, which always used to get me. Everything's so shiny.
Yeah, I definitely had some weird questions about it. Like, it was a total surprise that, spoiler for people like me who didn't watch it when it originally came out, that Hera and Kanan had a kid. Like, I did not know. I've never seen that online. You know, I've seen kind of
we don't
images.
talk about
So
Bruna.
thankfully, we did not see that happen on screen. Yes.
So, I'm sure there's fanfic somewhere, but
Oh dear.
yeah, it's like the fact that he's 100% human with green hair and has no Twi'lek in him. I'm just like, well, this is ridiculous type of thing.
Do they say it's his son?
She says, I don't know. She specifically says my kid, and they don't really say Kanan. They don't say Kanan's name about it, but it's heavily, you know, kind of suggested that before he, again, spoiler, kind of sacrifices himself. Apparently, they had time to have a kid because it's a year later, or it's a couple years later, something like that.
Oh, come on, it's like that.
The timeline works. Yeah, the timeline works.
Yeah, it definitely works. So, I mean, that kid looks older. So, you know, a couple years old, I should say. But yeah, I was quite shocked by that. I did see, I knew how it was going to end with Thrawn. I just wanted to see how it played out. I didn't know that.
So did Thrawn.
That's always a great big plan. Yeah, space whales.
Yeah, I didn't know Ezra was going to be with him because I didn't hear that. So that was a surprise that he was trapped out there with Ezra.
Yeah.
So, and Kanan's death was good. You know, I was like, oh, that's a good sacrifice. That was pretty good.
I think that's why everybody's like eagerly awaiting what happens in Ahsoka because we want to know what happened. You know, like did he fight him out there again? Did he take off? Did he get eaten by a whale? Like, you know.
Did they work together to get back?
Is Ezra bad now? Like, you know.
Definitely seems like a whole novel along itself, but I hope we get some sort of discussion or at least a tease, even if they don't tell us. We at least need a book or something because something happened. It's been 6 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Longer.
Pretty sure we're getting a series about it, and it's going to feature Ahsoka. That's just me being crazy talking and everything, but I'm pretty sure that's exactly where that's going. That was the beauty of Rebels, was that Star Wars storytelling that had some ties, but also went off on its own tangent. And hopefully Ahsoka addresses this, allows her to be in universe during the original trilogy, but off doing something else, you know, fully engaged and not necessarily aware what's happening back in the not Outer Rim or wherever the heck the Purrgil went, you know, wherever Ezra and all them are, whatever. So it helps that timeline, and that's what I envision Ahsoka is going to be doing in a big way. And you talk about Kanan's kid and all that. That's, you know, the beauty of Star Wars storytelling that I always love is that one little nugget there that then some next creative can come and take and run with, and hopefully we get something powerful or something dynamic, something entertaining, something good, not just out for content's sake, but something that adds to the overall mythos of it.
Yeah, and by the time New Jedi Order comes out, you know, Rey's next set of movie, Kanan's kid's gonna be
right. Could be
30
featured.
So
the timeline works that it could be in the player.
Yeah, and we see a trainer and we see somebody with green hair in it. We're just going to automatically say that anybody with green hair has got to be his son.
Well, I didn't notice that. Is there a person with green hair in the trailer?
No, I don't think we saw anything, but I think he's saying in a future trailer, if we see
Oh,
something
yeah.
like that, we're gonna go down that path real quick.
That or Kylo Ren killed him.
There's some, well, yeah, it could have that, which would be just beyond tragic. Ryan, you said something right. There is something to getting a not a big book, but a thick book, a full of content book, a heavy book, if you will, on the cheap, because it just makes you feel like, man, I'm getting a lot, because you've paid good money for a book that's nothing but white pages and words or whatever. Where that book that you got, the timeline book is, I think, full of photos, right? And it's chock full of photos and information.
Yes, so much information, photo every page, color coded pages on the bottom, like organized. Like it is. If I would have paid $50 for it, which is what I originally was going to pay for it, and then it went down to 45, and I was like, yeah, I'll get it, I would have not complained at all. But the fact that I got 35 after tax, it's just a fantastic book. Just look, and again, the book is never going to be 100% accurate. People are already saying there's some editorial issues and stuff like that. Like there's some spelling errors like here and there, but I don't care. Like that's not really a big thing. Oh, I guess there's one thing that bothers me. It straight up says that Kylo Ren blew up the temple, Luke's temple. It straight up says he blew up the temple. And I'm like,
incorrect.
Yeah, it's like, and again, it's who knows, is this book written from an outside point of view? Because in the comic, it specifically makes it appear that Kylo didn't. It made Kylo appear like, and I like that thing where Kylo never really wanted to be evil. He was kind of felt like he had to be evil type of thing. So
He was brainwashed, yeah.
So then he blew up the school.
The timeline book says that he did it. So, but personally, I'm like, nah, I don't believe you. Like,
the comics are kind of canon adjacent, so I don't know.
Sometimes I think more so these encyclopedia type books tend to be a bit more canon adjacent, at least in the past, because there were things that sort of they got produced, and then there's things that kind of changed them all up. So you had to always take those with a grain of salt. And like Ryan said, as soon as it's printed, it's going to be dated. There's going to be missing information, or some story is going to come along to sort of tweak or change some of that. So yeah, they're great fodder for information, a leaping off point or whatever, but they're going to be hard pressed to use them, especially because I've heard of a couple of things in that book, and I can't think of them, don't have them noted at the moment, that were kind of like, wait, no, that's not what we've come to agree on, if you will, how X happened, or there's other things countering it.
There's no great reference book in the world that hasn't got a mistake in it somewhere.
Touche, right?
It's going to be something like that.
Yeah, I definitely don't.
It's impossible, isn't it, to go through everything like that? I don't know who wrote it, who put it together, but it'd be very hard pressed to have got everything completely right in it.
Outside of like a Wikipedia, where it can be a repository like that, but can be corrected, updated, because once something's printed, it's immediately out of date, or otherwise is only accurate as that point in time.
Yeah, because it only goes up to the end of Book of Boba Fett as far as it goes from him. So.
Right. When I saw that, I immediately thought of you, that you would be just right up your wheelhouse, the way you're resident note taker and otherwise just documentarian of information like that I thought that you would be very tickled and excited and just geek out when you finally got that thing in your hands. And it sounds like you did, which is awesome.
It is, yeah. I still love it. It's a great. Even when my wife picked it up off the porch, she's like, "Why is this so heavy?" And I just got really excited. It is a big book, man. So, and for the price that it's going for, and I love timelines. I have a big text that happens all the sequel trilogy timeline, so I keep track of like the Shadow of the Sith. When the temple blew up from the comics. I mean, when Grogu appeared, all this stuff like the death, the birth of all these, anything post Return of the Jedi, I have a timeline for. For the most part, all the stuff that's appeared in comics and TV and books.
You have it like on a bunch of 8.5, 11 by sheets of paper taped together to have this big long timeline. You have it on your computer. How do you physically have this timeline in?
He has it on a whiteboard with a bunch of strings.
That's what I mean, with the string. I'm seriously asking. I'm curious. Yeah, how do you have this timeline, Ryan? That you add things to it as you learn them?
I just have the notes section in my phone, and one specific note is Star Wars sequel trilogy timeline,
Oh
and
wow.
and everything. Like I have it broken down. Like people are like, oh, so we know for sure that Luke has been in exile for 6 years, and this is when the temple blew up. And I'm like, well, yeah, I had all that notes. Like if you read the comics and the books, it specifically says, well, this is when it all happened. So I would do the ridiculous math for ABY because it's very difficult because there was dispute whether it's 4 years after Yavin or 5 years type of thing.
Yeah.
Is to do all that math and then to try to figure out a character's age, like Luke, who is 19, and then the temple blew up, whatever it was. I'm just throwing it off the top of my head, like 21 ABY, but then I got to add 19 years because they're like, oh, the temple blew up 4 years after, quote, Return of the Jedi, but that's 4 years from 0 ABY, and then I got to add 19. So it was a huge pain in the butt to like do all the math for this. But it's something I love doing type
They
of
said
thing.
the temple blew up like 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
No, it was 20.
Oh, that's what I say, like, because he's building it on Mando.
Yeah, no, it was. I have. Again, where's our text messages? Oh, here it is. Boop. There's a big long
Oh
message.
my gosh.
Yeah, that's what I have. So it's in the group chat now. But yeah, that's the type of notes that I keep. And it's difficult to keep track of these characters' age when most of the stuff says, oh, from the time of the battle of, it doesn't even use the Battle of Yavin. It's like, oh, the Battle of Endor. So I have to go back to the Battle of Endor, then add 4 years for the ABY year, and then add Luke's year. So anyone that aged, I put like their ages in there. So exactly when Ochi of Bastoon disappeared. So yeah, I'm heavy on the sequel trilogy timeline type of stuff. So, and when this book came out and it's nothing but timelines, oh man, so much stuff happens around like Rebels and Clone Wars, and it's good filler for me.
Interesting.
Okie dokie. And that's actually reminded me that because I didn't redo my script at the start, that I was going to ask 2 questions at the start. So I had that quote, and I was going to have a quote and a question. That's how I was going to do it. That we would answer at the end of the episode. I'd done my quote already, but my question was going to be, to think about, no answers yet, was where did Princess Leia get shot while trying to invade the bunker on Endor? And it's a bit of a 50-50 because even I knew what part of the
She
body
got shot at the bunker on Endor, and you just answered the question.
No, where on her body did she
Outside,
get shot?
no.
It's what it means. I mean, I knew what part of the body got hit, but the question is the answer is going to be, is it left or right? So that's something to think about before the end of the episode. But looking at the schedule we got here and the stuff to talk about, we'll go through some of the quicker stuff first, I think, and shift Mando a bit further down the road. We've got Jedi Survivor that recently came out, literally hot off the press or hot in the mailbox of Ricky
2 days ago.
house.
Yeah, and I just got it yesterday.
Yes.
So I played like a whopping hour of it. So
I'm cheating, of course, I haven't got a console, never had a console, just like I never had a Blu-ray player. I've started watching somebody who I don't know how they did this. They must
how
have
did
had
they play through it
copy.
all the way already?
There must be people who had events copies, because this is like a 4K YouTube video of it goes on for about 3 hours 50 minutes as the whole walkthrough, mostly with the cut scenes and bits of the stuff.
You sure it's not Fallen Order?
Just like flipping it. No, it's not. No, I've seen that one. So yeah, I'd say I've seen about 30 minutes of it so far, and no spoilers for me. It's pretty exciting, even though I'm not really into it. I have enjoyed what I've seen so far, and I'd say it looks very immersive and stuff. Almost like I really wish I was playing it.
Yeah, no, it's really cool.
You're the specialist. So you can tell us about the game.
Yeah, no, they do a whole. Even if you didn't play the first game, like the beginning of, so spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. But they do a whole little kind of mini recap of the first game just by clips. Right. You know, all that stuff was from. Yeah, all that stuff was from the beginning. So that when you start the game, it shows you that, and then you go to the menu and start a new game and all that stuff. But yeah, no, this one, it's the last game had like you could switch out the color of poncho and switch out how BD1 looked and the ship and all that stuff. So this one you can actually switch out his actual clothes. So I put him like in a green Luke Skywalker outfit, so it was pretty cool. But yeah, no, it picks up where the other one leaves off. It looks great. Like it's walking around and yeah, it looks like a movie. I spent like the first like 40 minutes playing, dragging out the first scene. You're Cal Kestis and you're being escorted by these bad guys. But it's a video game, so you can't just go wherever. So I was
I was
trying
going
to
to
sneak.
wonder how much it looks like. I could almost just stop and watch everything going on in the background because there seems to be a lot going on. It's
Well,
kind of
you're walking,
very
and then like those guys are, because you probably saw that part. The guys are escorting you to the
yes,
to
the
the center
senator.
or whatever. I just kept trying to run past them, and they would just bump you and like.
Yes, but
just
yeah, I
get,
saw that. But the person that I was watching playing, if you try and go back or hang around
yeah.
too long, they just come and push you onwards.
Me and my daughter were just having fun, having me just stare down everybody and then try to run past them and then get bumped. And I was doing that with the stormtrooper. So yeah, I probably could have got a lot further last night, but we were messing around playing it. But no, it looks gorgeous. It looks
How
really.
difficult is it? Because one way watching it on the YouTube thing just says press this to force push
Oh
someone,
yeah, I
press
was doing
this
the
to use
tutorial
your
stuff. Yeah.
lightsaber. I think is this just a question of pressing a few buttons here? Is it really that simple to
There's
one?
different. You can do it on story mode where it's you're pretty much just walking through the story. I haven't tried it that way, but I'm doing it on regular Jedi Knight mode. There was a Jedi Knight, Jedi Master, and Jedi Grandmaster. I made the mistake of the first game playing it on Jedi Master mode, and after a while I just got tired of it. Like they just throw like too many enemies at you, and it's difficult to get through. But yeah, no, for this one I started on Jedi Knight mode, but it's not too bad. I mean, if you play the first game, it's not too hard. But yeah, you basically just swing your lightsaber around. You can do force pushes and stuff like that.
I think it's console specific, or is it out on all of them?
It's on everything. Yeah, it's on PC. My brother-in-law got it on PC. I got it on my Series X. It's on PS5 and everything. So, and
And Stephen, I would suggest the tutorial that you learn how to push those buttons is that straightforward early on, but then as the game progresses, right, you have to master the combination of
yeah, you
force
unlock
push,
things.
light swing, and all these other things that the game's going to get harder as you go along.
Yeah, because I was trying to do the moves from the other game, and you can do a barrel roll and all that stuff, and it wouldn't let me do it yet. So I'm like, wait, I mastered all this stuff the first game. He should not forget.
I was just wondering from I suppose from the way I'm watching, I just wonder how difficult is this actually to play? It looked reasonably like you didn't really have a lot of choice, and it was quite simple from watching from the YouTube thing. But because I am just literally just watching from the YouTube, I have no idea what the person is doing, or thrashing away those buttons in the background or whatever. But it didn't look
Yeah, no, the
like it
beginning
was.
part just basically tells you what's what. So after that, you kind of got to figure it out on your own. Depending on the mode, it'll be more enemies or more difficulty, like attacking somebody. Like if they won't get hurt as much if you hit them. But yeah, right at the beginning, like you can throw people off the buildings and they fly off into Coruscant and all that stuff.
I'd almost just wanted to get the game just so I could force push someone off the side of.
Oh yeah, that's the best.
That's just like it's so satisfying. I thought just watching this thing, oh, I'd love to do this.
Oh, you can
Uh,
do the move where you're throwing the double bladed lightsaber around and it like spins around and gets everybody if you're surrounded by a crowd. It's fun.
I'm
It's not as
getting,
it's not as over the top as Force Unleashed was, but it's near there. Yeah.
did I see? I always go the stormtroopers you get on Endor. They were there walking around Coruscant, weren't they? Just like
Oh yeah, those guys are everywhere. Those guys were on
that's
other
what
planets.
they doing there. You don't see them walking around Coruscant, but in the game they just seem to turn up in random places.
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
first game they were on different planets, but they were like kind of the same terrain as Endor. So yeah, I
It
thought
just
that was
seemed
kind
really
of.
weird to see them on Coruscant. I was thinking, what the heck are
They're
these
speeder
characters
troopers.
doing here?
They're not green though.
No, it's just not weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw it up to just when he was just leaving Coruscant, so not to give any spoilers away about what happens in that, but that's the bit what I've got up to watching.
Yeah, I had got stuck on a spot where you're supposed to, because there's a guy with you and he has a jetpack. Of course, he can fly wherever he wants to, and you have to try to figure out how to climb up. And like he would just, I'm like, dude, why don't you just hold my hand and I can like float up with you? I'm trying to figure out this puzzle how to get up this wall. And it did this weird thing. I guess I went the wrong way, right? And like I got to a part where I jumped over this wall, and then I land and there's stormtroopers there, and the screen went like dark, and it said like you've I said like I passed another point that I was supposed to go. Like I skipped ahead or something, and it said if I kept playing, it would break the game and possibly I could mess stuff up. So it gave me the option to go back to my last checkpoint to go the right route that I was supposed. I guess I did some kind of shortcut I wasn't supposed to, which I thought was really weird. But yeah, it said it was gonna break the story or game if I continued that
What?
way. Yeah, I've never seen that in a game before. So I mean, I guess that was helpful
You
because
broke the game. You
yeah,
broke the game.
it says potentially
That's
broken. Yeah.
That used to happen back on the Commodore and the Spectrum. The game would just crashed. But I mean, it's literally telling you cannot change the laws of physics. That's another franchise.
Well, it says
Uh,
you can, but you might lose your data and have to start over anyway. So it's like
It's weird.
it's potential. Yeah. So and I went back and did it the right way, and I don't even know what I missed. So I think it was like you had to find a spot to open up another menu to get other achievement things. I don't know. It was strange, but I've never seen that in a game before. But I guess it was helpful, so I didn't go past a certain point, and be like, oh, what happened? You know. So, but yeah, it looks amazing. So I
It
can't wait
does
to
look,
play some
it
more.
does look amazing. I always think about spending 200-300 on the console just to play it, but I'm not going to, of course.
500.
Uh, well, yeah, I can find
That's
a cheap way of doing these things. I do.
I don't know
So
if it's on Nintendo Switch. That might be the
I
cheap.
always enter competitions to win consoles. So maybe one of these days I might win a console and then I'll actually be able to play these things if I get
I
round.
guess PC's been having some people have been complaining about performance issues, but I mean it depends on your PC if it can handle
It's 10 years
everything.
old. Probably wouldn't play it.
Yeah. Well, you didn't know if you could handle Monkey Island on yours, so.
No, I don't know that yet. No, I should try that. I don't know if I can get a refund if it doesn't play it. I should have to look into the T's and
Hmm.
C's. If I buy something,
I'm just trying to figure out how to get my pre-order bonus from GameStop. So if anybody's listening knows if they send you an email, I emailed them
what
yesterday.
was your bonus? What was your bonus?
Well, yeah, I said you can change the outfit, so
Is it a
the
beanie? Beanie?
yeah, no, there's a with the deluxe edition I got, you get like a theme of clothes that's like this it says it's the scoundrel, so it's like Han Solo-esque clothes. The other one is like the Galactic Hero set, and that one you have like it's like Luke's gold jacket, but you can like customize and stuff. The pre-order bonus was supposed to be the hermit um thing, which is supposed to be kind of like Obi-Wan-esque, from the show. Um, but yeah, no, I didn't get a code or anything or nothing. So trying to figure out how to get that. Some people were saying Best Buy was telling them that they had to call EA, and EA's like, well, you have to call your retailer. So
It's been a nightmare.
yeah, so which I was surprised. Usually each retailer has different bonuses. There was really nothing for this one, just those codes. So
How long do you think it's going to take you to finish the game playing it?
well, the last one took me 2 years. So
2 years.
like I said, it was on difficult, and then like I stopped playing and gave up, and then Squadrons came out, and I was like, well, I better finish Fallen Order first before I do Squadrons. But no, I mean, playing through, I think you can probably get it done within 5 hours of actual play, but it probably have to be spread out. That's if you're just running through everything, but I like to take my time and enjoy the story.
That was my guess, given by you said that the video online is about 3 hours 50, and that's not including much of the repetitive fighting and stuff. So
that's a lot of cutting out of getting stuck on puzzles and stuff. There's a lot of puzzles in these games, so you got to figure out how to get out of rooms and all that.
So maybe the next pod we can talk about the story and stuff, but for not spoil too many people.
Yeah, depending on how far I get.
What happened. I'm just seeing a slight tangent, just seeing what Ryan had posted about his timeline and stuff, and seeing that Leia was 54 when she.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
I mean, I just thought she does not look 54, but then she looks like 64. I would say. But that got me thinking. I was listening to the latest the High Republic Cataclysm book. I had to. That's another tangent on my tangent. I had to Google the word cataclysm on it and get the pronunciation up, because every time I said to Audible, I said Audible, please. Oh, sorry, I said Alexa, so I can't say that too loud here. Stop playing it. I said Alexa, please play Star Wars: The High Republic Cataclysm from Audible, and it go playing Star Wars: The High Republic Light of the Jedi from. No, I said Star Wars Cataclysm from Audible, and they go playing Star Wars: The High Republic Into the Dark from. I know I said, and I thought I'm obviously not saying this correct, so I had to Google the word and then hear it and have somebody read it out, pronounce it, and then I thought I haven't been saying this word right. I say as I was saying catalysm, It's Cataclysm, and that was enough to put Alexa off from understanding what the hell I was saying.
Hopefully there's not a book called Aluminum, because it'll never get it.
Oh my gosh, no, yeah, I already have. No, Whereas I didn't realise I was saying it
Star
wrong. But
Wars:
no,
The High
what I was thinking
Republic,
was-
bottled water.
No, but what I was thinking of when I was listening to this, and name this, no spoilers for anybody who hadn't actually finished the book yet. But you know, they talk about Ben Kenobi aging in like 10 years and stuff. What if he had a mini adventure where he meets the Nameless? That could age him a heck of a lot. Put
Who?
that. Oh,
Obi-Wan?
yeah.
Nah, he's in the sun. He's in the
I
sun.
mean,
Yeah,
that would
he's
be one
only
way
got
of
two sons.
that would be one way of aging somebody like 50 years in like 10 years, wouldn't it?
Well, same with Leia. I mean, she had to deal with 20 years of politics. Yeah, she'll probably look a little bit more beat up.
Well, they just give Obi-Wan a child to deal with. That will age him quite quickly.
Well, the radiation from the lightsabers. Constant tan line on you all the time.
Oh, maybe something like that. But just a random idea just popped into my head, but I don't think they do it because people will just complain that we just retconned it deliberately or something like that. I don't know.
Every time you use the Force, it drains you. I don't know.
It does to a degree, doesn't it? But yeah, not quite that severe. Anyhow, so May the 4th is in 5 days' time, and we have got Vision Season 2 and the Young Jedi Adventures being released on that date. Do we, as our Visions champion here is Ryan, do you want to say anything about Season 2 coming up and what you're looking forward to or stuff? Or do you just do rattle off wiki or something?
Well, I had a big post on it a while ago because I searched up, before it was common knowledge, I searched up every creator because they released all the creator names, and then I posted all their main content type of thing. So a lot of them are real small studios. They probably have stuff that most people haven't even heard of. But the biggest one is probably Wallace and Gromit that people know. And so that studio is doing a stop motion Star Wars. And that's brilliant, type of thing. So that's probably the one I'm most excited for, just to kind of see what it's doing, and what people are,
I Am Your Mother. I'm just looking at the episodes here. That's called I Am Your Mother, the one that Aardman do.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 9 episodes again. They're all dropping the same day. The episodes are Sith, Screecher's Reach, In the Stars, I Am Your Mother, Journey to the Dark Head, The Spy Dancer, The Bandits of Goluk, Aya's Song, and The Pit. So I mean, it's just a whole bunch of studios. A lot of them I haven't heard of. A lot of them have. Then a couple of them are well known. Like I said, the Wallace and Gromit studio. This one seems more artistic than the first one. Like, not artistic as in like it's just doing something different. Like when you're doing stop motion Star Wars, that's certainly something new and different. And the studios that they chose, they have a very particular style, just like Promare did with everyone's favorite The Twins episode. That's a very stylistic Star Wars in episodes. So I'm excited for it. I just found out my wife has it off coincidentally, and now I might have to take it off because that's not fair in my eyes. So we'll see if I spend the day home or not.
Is it all new houses? No, the 9 shorts are all new.
Nobody
9
from the
new.
first season.
Yes, correct. All new studios.
All right, so cool. New studios.
Are we going to watch the trailer?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Let me get it up here. We'll watch the trailer and then we can.
We weren't surprised by that news. We knew that was Vision's second season was coming, but I don't know if we knew it was going to drop May the 4th, or we all suspected it. Way back when, because this has been an ongoing thing.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of stuff dropping on Star Wars Week. So.
There was a lot going on during Celebration.
Yeah, I don't know that I know of a lot of or any announced sort of deals, specials, buys, or anything like that. I think the Lego store is doing something.
Yeah,
if you purchase X amount of dollars, you'll get something. But I don't know that I've seen anything crazy May the 4th like there used to be back in just a couple years ago.
Yeah, I think on the Nintendo Switch round they're gonna have like a bundle of the older games that you can purchase for cheaper, I guess. Like the pod racing game and stuff like that.
Video game deals, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The last book for the High Republic Phase 2 drops May 2nd, so that's around that area too. Fortnite is releasing
Oh
another
yeah,
Oh yeah, I did see a Fortnite.
May
Yeah.
big story
2nd.
on
Yeah.
May 2nd, so which could lead into something for May the 4th. So maybe they'll do a movie announcement like they did before, because everybody loved that. So you never know, or they'll just do some.
Oh, speaking of movies, Return of the Jedi came out this weekend, right? Around
Yes.
around April.
Is it so? Let's take a poll of senators around the horn or whatever. Is it anywhere near you, Ricky?
I believe so. Yeah, everything's near.
Within 10 miles or within 40?
Within 10 miles. I think they're showing it in one of the.
You live in a big metro area. Ryan,
Yeah.
anywhere near you?
Now 2 hours maybe.
Yeah. Stephen, Chancellor, any theaters near you?
I'm just googling. I have no idea. I haven't even bothered to look because
It's
I just
not-
don't
I
do it.
didn't really look either. Let me double check. So I'm just not talking.
Not
I don't
anything
even-
near me that I'm just incensed by to see it being released and Disney's Lucasfilm. It's obviously some sort of deal with AMC theaters or something like that, but just let theater houses that want to show it. I get it's a business and you're trying to make money and really keep the brand and whatever. But oh my goodness, let this generation of kids, have the opportunity to see it on a big screen. It's ridiculous.
And it's not even all AMCs. I have an AMC that I go to all the time. It's only 40 minutes away. I go there at least once a month. And it's not showing in that one. I have to drive into the big city to see it, type of thing.
Oh, really? No, I thought it was AMC theaters. Wow. So there's an AMC that's not even showing it. So yeah, even that is. So yeah, it dropped ball, missed opportunity, and just otherwise poorly mismanaged for a release of such.
Yeah, I want to find that poster though. That's a really good looking poster.
Yeah, that
It
poster
is a
looks
good
awesome.
poster. It is a nice
I've seen
poster.
reports
Yeah.
of it being handed out at. Now
Yeah, just
whether
given out
the
at a celebration.
yeah,
wasn't
whether
it?
that's a legit, well, no, at the theater, people saying they
Oh,
got
right.
that when they went to see it, but whether that's a legit poster, or the theater house just went and printed a bunch of them to.
Yeah,
do something
I could
like
go see it right now at
Yeah.
11 a.m. if I wanted to at AMC Westgate.
right close to you.
Yeah, it's like 15 minutes.
All right, cool.
Well, it's not in my local cinema. Not. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it looks like all the AMCs over here have.
It's up Bristol, which is about 3 to 4 hours drive from here. I'll tell you that. But it's not.
I would just stand outside and ruin the ending for everybody.
Yeah. Han
Darth
dies.
Vader
No,
dies.
Would you? Because the only one you're going to ruin the ending for is kids. Everybody else
Yeah.
knows the ending, so there's no chance you're going to.
I would hope.
out
I would
there
hope there's like
and-
people taking their kids to watch this instead of just like
Yes.
adults.
That's what I was so looking forward to is taking the nephew and taking people to see it on the big screen. That's a big thing of mine, And yeah, just very disappointed at the
But do
limited
you
release
think
aspect.
there would actually be people taking their kids that have never seen it before?
Yes.
Oh
think
yes.
so?
The movie theater experience, the movie going experience, it might be an old guy construct that's only in me, but yes, I think that would be very much a thing.
But do you think the kids
to go
going
see
like
that.
have never seen it?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a number of kids that haven't ever seen it. That'd be their opportunity, a way into the universe to see that on the big screen. Now, whether it will hit home like it did back in the day, not so much, because if they've seen anything else that's splashy and flashy, Spider-Man, Marvel, anything like that or whatever, and effects or whatever, Jedi's not going to necessarily wow, isn't going to necessarily pop, but the story and the adventure and the excitement of it all might captivate, or otherwise be exciting. But yeah, why they don't release those movies on a
Periodically, yeah.
on a
I'm still waiting for the
anniversary
3D
type of
ones.
thing.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the 3D ones to get finished and come out. Well, they only did episode 1, so I'm like, I was waiting for 2 and 3.
They did 2 and 3. They just
Yeah,
never
but they didn't
released
release them though.
Right. They never released them because they were
Those are celebrations.
you could see them at celebrations.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
speak of-
that's what I was thinking. Like, it's weird because like if I would go and take my daughter, of course she's never seen it in theater. I've never seen Return of the Jedi in theater, but we've seen it like a bajillion times. So I mean, it would just be going solely just for the theater experience.
What trailer to watch?
Star Wars
Vision season 2 trailer.
Yep.
Trailer.
Ready.
Let's go. Ready. Let's roll.
meant for bigger things.
What if you just keep going?
No need to fear. There are others like you here.
I saw it myself. She has special powers.
Can you get your porta potty off the starting line?
She's a total... Exactly. Don't be afraid. May the Force be with you.
It's showtime.
Whoa.
The storm is approaching.
I can fight them. I'm strong enough now.
No one is stronger than them.
We can beat them.
No! You there! Hold it!
We cannot choose where our calling takes us. Only whether or not to answer.
There
Oh,
we go. Oh,
Seems like the
Everything in there
soundtrack is
is
amped
awesome.
up
Oh yeah, soundtrack.
from the first round. I mean, granted, it was just a trailer-ish soundtrack, but hopefully I guess each house has its own.
No, I love the soundtrack for the
aspect.
first volume. Like it was I have that on my Star Wars.
And
playlist.
were there two houses doing stop motion?
It looks like there's three.
Oh, you think there were three? Okay.
Yeah, one looks like hyper like.
One was clearly Wallace and Gromit
Yeah.
house, but the other one looked. There
More
seemed to be
like,
another stop motion one that seemed just more stylized for what it was, but
yeah.
It might cell shaded. There's a couple cell shaded companies in there.
And there's some really like big like CGI, like it looks like like the way they do the movies and kind of thing. It looks pretty awesome. I like those katanas in the beginning that are the bendy lightsaber. Looks crazy.
I was going to say the lightsaber bends, and I thought, well,
Yeah.
it was doing these kind of things, wasn't it? You know, a slight curve to it.
Well,
the
actually, that's actually canon too. And now it's canon in Shadows of the Sith book. And I just checked my notes real quick because I was like, I knew someone was going to bring it up because it's like, oh, lightsabers don't bend, even though the dark saber proves that you could have a lightsaber that isn't round because the dark saber is flat and it has a pointed tip. So you could change the shape of sabers. But in the Shadow of the Sith book, they find an old Sith lightsaber that when they light it, it's a scimitar, however you pronounce it.
scimitar.
Yeah, I knew somebody corrected me last time, and I was like, I know I'm going to mess it up. But yeah, it's a scimitar. It curves back and it has a huge blade, and it specifically says in the book it curves backwards. So yeah, it's the lightsabers doing that. Obviously, there's whips now.
Yeah.
There's the dark saber, which isn't round; it's flat with a point. So that can't be. It's not too outside the realm of people just, I don't know, changing the design of the
I
saber.
mean, you can have slingshots that are lasers, so.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it just looks like works of art, and that's what it's very short, compact stories, and I still wish that they would release books or follows up on the other episodes from the first Visions, like they did with Ronin. They had the Ronin book that goes around that whole thing, the duel, and it was great reading about that universe, and I wanted more from some of the others. I don't think we really needed one with all of them.
So that extra content, was that done by the house that did the Ronin? Like who put out that? And because the Ronin kind of lend itself towards some extra content, if you will, some extracurricular. But then I wonder, right, who was there a tie-in to the studio that did that one, that they also had that story or that content and had a way to release it in terms of the book or whatever, because it is kind of neat to have some of that ancillary content, that extra stuff that goes with the stories. And right, will they choose to monetize it? Will there be some of that this go around in Visions 2, because they saw how, I don't know if successful is the right word, but they released some. I remember seeing some little maquettes that might have been, just some busts of some of the characters in Target that might have been maybe 5-6 inches tall, whatever. And I've seen a couple of things tied to the Visions. Not a whole lot of merchandise, if you will. But yeah, will they merchandise the second round? Seems like from the trailer, it seems like the shorts are going to be some very engaging story. Some I don't know what it is about that trailer that makes me think that just all 9 of those stories are really going to be like there's not going to, I don't know, not going to be any fluff. Fluff's not the right word, but just they seem like they're going to be some intense stories, in the short amount of time that those things are going to last.
They all look.
We don't have any runtime info, right? We don't have any idea of what the shorts. We know that, but what was the longest one in season 1?
Probably the one with the bunny. That one went on forever. I think that one was like 12 minutes.
I feel
That's
like
a lot to make animation.
12 minutes seems pretty short, doesn't it?
Weren't they like? Wasn't that how much they were?
I think that's a lot for animation. Yeah, I don't recall. I really don't. I don't remember any of them going on, droning on, thinking, oh, when's this going to end? Don't remember them going, oh, this is way too short. Wanted more. Anyway, looking forward to it on May the 4th to have that content drop.
Yeah, it just says on the wiki 13 to 22 minutes, but I don't remember it lasting that long.
The question in the Wallace and in the Wallace and Gromit stop motion one, will Wallace and Gromit House studio have some way of doing a lightsaber? Like, you know what I mean? Because that would be a challenge. All the other ones are easy enough to do, but will they have some way of doing a lightsaber in that method?
My
of
daughter
doing
was
that
watching
animation?
the Farmageddon. I don't know if you've seen that one with them. But they show like Daleks and they have like space aliens. I didn't pay attention to how they did the lasers on that one. They did Star Wars references in that one.
Do them in post in some fashion to have them
maybe.
shine.
Yeah.
A slight disappointment, but still, it'll be entertaining.
They can't do no, maybe they use actual light bulbs.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what we'll be excited to watch. To me, that's what I think about when I see that Wallace and Gromit stop motion one. It's like
you'd have to get the reflections and all that stuff off of it.
Agents.
Yeah, have you seen Pinocchio? What they can do with stop motion is incredible.
I haven't watched that yet.
No, I can't say that I have.
The Guillermo del Toro one, right?
Benicio not the Pauly Shore one. You can just YouTube some of that stuff. But the
Del Toro one, right?
Yeah. Oh my, it was incredible. Like way better than the live action Disney with Tom Hanks. Like this was an incredible piece of art in stop motion. It was amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Visions. It's gonna be fun. I mean, then we're gonna have 2 volumes, so you can just watch both.
I have to say, it doesn't look good from the. I am excited by the trailer a lot more than I thought I would be.
And all 9 are new in terms, right? None of them are adding to or continuing anything that we've already seen from the first Visions, right? We think they're all sort of new stories. Or
I think if they do see,
did any of them hint
go back and
did any of them hint at tying to any previous story? So
no, they're letting them. They just say, hey, tell a story.
Tell a cool. Yeah, exactly.
And we'll approve it. Because they don't want it stepping on like a story that's already been told or something. They try to make it fit, or they don't, like you said, like the twins or the duel. Actually, not the duel. It's like the Sith or something like that. That one feels like it could fit. But yeah, there's some that feel like they could. And there's some that just don't whatsoever, and that's fine. They're specifically saying this is outside the norm. This is just for artistic, just so we can get some anime out there, because anime takes a long time to make. So they're just like, we're letting 9 studios do what they want, and we're here to enjoy it. And I'm like, perfect. While I want more backstory on some of these characters, it'd be great. I'm glad we got to see it on Ronin. It was amazing that they released a follow-up book, and I'm hoping something gets that kind of focus again, because it's neat reading alternate universe stories about totally different and new characters with a very loose, Star Wars attachment. It's just a good book.
Right, Ryan, you bring up a very cool point. It's the visual aesthetics of getting to see some Star Wars story in this anime and in these various styles, because obviously the Wallace and Gromit thing is not that anime style, but to see the style, to let those artists create art, because like you say, it is visual. To watch that trailer, some of the visuals in there and the way you can do a push in of an iris of somebody's eye and how it's narrowing and focusing, and the stuff that you can do in anime that you can't necessarily. You can do it all in movies these days with CGI, obviously, but that part of what anime can do and provide emotion and provide just that cinematography, but yet it's people drawing pictures kind of thing or whatever, right? It's a great showcase for that talent and for those artists to tell us, like you say, a loosely based Star Wars galaxy sexy story, but with their paintbrushes, with their way of showing us art. So yeah, I'm excited as well, just to see the art of it, just see how beautiful it's going to look, and hopefully it's got good story.
Yeah, I still haven't forgotten about, and again, it's artistic point of view and how they want to tell a story. But when, and I know you brought it up, Ron, where in the first season that girl's heels changed shape, like power up heels, they just like transformed a little bit, and I was like, that type of stuff. Where I was like, oh, that's awesome. Just weird things like that. Or in this trailer where they're like dragging the lightsaber, and the cell shaded anime styles has gotten really big lately, with certain things. With I forgot what, there's some video game that does it, but they have an anime out on it.
Like that.
Well, this is like very specific cell shaded type style.
There's a lot of games that do the cell shade. It's like that seems to be like the norm now for like indie games too.
Yeah, and it looks fantastic. They do great things the way they're able to shoot. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not a big fan of CGI. I like anime, but cell shaded or 2D has a way to use the bonuses of CG effects, where you can zoom in the camera and go around the character. That's so hard to draw.
Right. You know what else is cell shaded, right? Star Wars Resistance.
Oh, that's terribly cell shaded. I wouldn't even count that as cell shaded.
Gotta watch Resistance now.
Well, you've got to watch Resistance at some point. We'll also have a recap about that.
Like that looks worse than Rebels.
You've had a hard time getting in with the animated style for Rebels to start off with. You're going to have a harder time with Resistance. Didn't bother me, I have to say. After a couple of episodes, you don't pay any attention to any of that. But yeah, it is definitely, it's like a abstracted whitewash kind of effect, but also pretty and
it is. It's really nice
at the same time, isn't it? It's a very strange kind of. Some things are washed out, but it's also sometimes other things are a bit richer in some respects. I don't know. It's a bizarre animation. I need to do a rewatch on that because I'm missing my Nico and Buggles.
I know somebody online was saying that they were watching it for the first time. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I totally missed like the whole family dynamic of that show. Like, and just I want to go hang out in their rooms and play video games with them.
There's some great stuff in there. Also on May the 4th, we all touched on it. There is the High Republic animated stuff for the kiddie winkles out there. The Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures. And it looks like there's going to be they got them down as 5 episodes, but it looks like it's 2 episodes in each, 2 stories in each episode. So we end up with 10 episodes on the one day by the looks of it. One sounds quite interesting. It's called the Lost Jedi Ship. I wonder if that's going to be as much as interesting as it sounds. But also we've got Yoda in this, and then we've got the whole bunch of little younglings telling their stories and stuff. And there's been a series of about 6 shorts so far, which I've seen 2. Ricky's seen a few more. I don't know whether I'm guessing Ron hasn't seen any. And I don't know if Ryan has seen any of the shorts yet. But it looks...
Everything that YouTube has, I've watched. So I've watched all 5.
But yeah, I don't know how long each episode is going to be. I'm guessing not. I mean, they called the shorts were like they were like 3 or 4 or 5 minutes long, weren't they? And they called them just shorts.
I mean, like because we watch like Bluey and stuff like that, and like those are like you get for half hour you get like 2 episodes. So they're probably about 15 minutes each, maybe 12.
Yes. Yes.
Or who knows? Maybe they're half hour long. You never know.
I would guess that the whole episode is probably, like you say, probably about 25 minutes long, and there's 2 stories in each in those 25 minutes. But it looks, and it's another one of those ones, but it looks pretty as well. Do anybody want to watch the trailer now, or thumbs up or thumbs down to watch the trailer?
I'm always down to watch it.
No.
Yeah. If you have it pulled up, make it so.
We'll have a quick look at the trailer then.
I don't know if I've watched the trailer.
We'll probably talk about. You watched the trailer?
I must have. I would have. It was the one that came out a while back.
I'm sure you have. Let me just. Oh, mate.
I watched the shorts. I must.
Share the sound.
I just want to see if they pull in any characters from the books in here. They said
I
they're
don't
gonna
There's a
have
good
people,
chance of that. Oh,
they
references
said they're gonna
to
have
it.
people pop up. So if you see like Colmac or somebody, you know.
I don't think it's going to be. I'm not expecting to see Nihil or Drengia. Like that's
Yeah, I don't
too
know if this
scary.
is set during like the phase 2 or phase 1. I'm curious
I
about
have
that
no
too.
idea.
I'm personally, I don't think it's going to be connected at all. I'd be shocked if I seen one character.
Yeah, that's where my head is I can't imagine it has any connection. It's
Yoda.
just stuff for kids.
Yoda's in it, yeah.
Yoda.
He's everywhere.
Like I say, stuff for kids.
Yeah. Right, okay, let's get to this very start, and here we go.
Heroes you were born to be. Kai,
Stay back and watch a future Jedi Master.
Liz,
Hi there, little one.
Nash,
This is the fun part.
and Nubs. Your first adventure awaits. You will train in the way of the Jedi. Learn,
Is that a gangle? That is a gangle.
help others,
Hold on, Jim.
explore, the galaxy is full of wonders and challenges. May the Force be with you.
We'll be fine if we stick together. It's the space slug! Fly away! The Force is with me.
Young Jedi Adventures.
Going on adventures with my Jedi friends. Hope this fun never ends.
What? It's my new Jedi Friend Adventure song.
And there
Oh,
was
yeah.
Heroes you were born to be.
Disney Junior. Clearly,
Just for you, Ron, by the looks of it.
clearly for that demographic.
Which is great because there's like nothing for kids anymore. Like
It
everything's
looks
for,
fun.
like,
It looks fun. I should definitely be gonna
My
watch it.
takeaway is going to teach kids that they can hop in my car and just drive off.
I think it very much feels like there's going to be like a moral of the
Yeah.
story, more of the episode.
Oh yeah,
kind of
that's
thing.
exactly where my head was, Stephen. You're so spot on that. Yeah, I was going to
And
teach
today
kids.
you've learned that you
Good
should
people.
share sweets with friends and this kind of stuff and that kind of thing. You know,
Or you
two
know, which is fine.
in the bushes, two in the hands with one in the bush or something like that. There'd be something along those lines. So I think it's going to be all right. I mean, yeah, watch it.
I watch cartoons anyway, so yeah, we're gonna eat this up.
I'm definitely going to watch it. It might be a harder watch. It can be a hard watch, it might be in some respects, but I should definitely watch it because it's the High Republic. And it's Star Wars, and it's kind of.
It'll be
wonder if
worthy
they're
to
gonna do,
watch.
like,
Will it get a
Closest
rewatch?
we've got to a proper High Republic show at the moment, apart from those little shorts introducing characters and stuff.
I just wonder if they're gonna be like a continuous story, like they're going on some journey, or if it's gonna be different things
There's
each
a big
week.
bad. There's a big bad, isn't there? So imagine we're going to see him.
Oh, maybe like it builds up to something.
Yeah.
Interested. I want to know who those guys are with the sticks.
I bet he's going to say at the end of one of the episodes, I would have got away with it. It wasn't for those meddling kids.
Yeah, definitely has that type of feel. Yeah, it'll be worthy of a watch, whether it gets a rewatch or not. That might be.
We'll talk about it in the next. We'll talk about it in the next Senate. I'm sure it won't take very long to talk about, but I'm sure we'll be saying something along the lines of it was pretty and it was fun, and we learned something along the way.
Is it an ongoing thing, or is it's going to drop all its content at once?
They're all out in one day.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So we will have seen them all.
Oh, the little kids, they binge watch stuff. So.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, exactly. They're not waiting a week. And right, it's for the Star Wars parents and for little kids to watch.
They're
for little
dropping
kids to
all the
stumble
Bluey
across.
episodes. They're dropping all the Ghost of Molly McGee episode. They're Disney Plus drops everything. So.
Well, the problem is it's a Thursday and everyone's going to be in school, so.
That's true.
Is it Thursday? Oh, May the 4th is Thursday. All right, yeah. And if you haven't got Disney Plus, which I can't believe anybody listening hasn't, but if you haven't, they will be on Disney Junior as well, the episodes, but slightly more procrastinated.
Well, I think the neat thing about the Disney Junior, I think the Disney Junior is an actual television channel, right? Yeah. That's got content and is out there, is can be stumbled across. I don't know how many kids are watching TVs these days, but I think Disney Junior is still an actual channel. So
yeah, no, I have Disney Junior. We'll just throw it on.
It'll be a unique aspect in terms of there's not a lot of Star Wars in that sense that's on TV that's out there. So right, kids will find it that way, as well as finding it online and binging it by Disney Plus.
It wasn't that long ago. I was watching. The only stuff was coming out on Disney XD and that kind of stuff, and they still managed to play around with the release dates on that. You never knew exactly. You can never guarantee that it was going to be released at that time on that date. Just the scheduling was all over the place for some of this stuff. And
I guess only the people with kids caught it. But that tune that she was singing when she was flying, that was totally the Musketeer song. The Mouska Me, Mouska.
Is that the Musketeer one? I don't know.
It didn't sound like it.
Like, dude. Like that's the 100%. Hot dog, dude.
We Might Be Giants theme song from Mickey and.
Yeah, it's like the hot dog.
I have that on the soundtrack too, right?
I would have been great. She just sang "We are one, we are many," and that would have been. I would have been out of my chair, clapping if that
maybe
doing
in an airport somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the excitement to look forward to in a few days' time, or by the time this gets out, you would all seen it by now, and you'd be telling us about it all.
Yeah,
yes. So back to Mando, of which that thing, and we have 3 episodes we haven't talked about since we last all met up. It's the final 3 episodes of season 3. Believe it or not, we've been having discussions about exactly how far we got, but we have reached a consensus that
Pirate was the last one.
That it's the last 3 that we haven't talked about. And so episode 6 of season 3 was the Logan's Run episode, as I will call it. If you watched Logan's Run, you will know the parallels that there are.
Never seen it.
Between that film, one of my favourite films. Whoever watched. And that was chapter 22, which was Guns for Hire. And we had there's quite a lot in this Wikipedia entry, but I tried to go over it quite quickly. Bo-Katan, Djarin, and Grogu set out for the idyllic planet Placer 15, where Bo-Katan's former army, now led by Axe Rose. I was going to say Axel. That's a do.
Axe Wolves.
Yeah, Axe Rose. They've got the wolves, isn't it? Rose.
No, in it.
Wolves.
They got down here. Anyhow, they're hanging out there anyway. So, but before they can meet them, they have to involuntarily diverted to meet the planet's rulers, Captain Bombardier and the Duchess, who ask for their help in neutralizing several repurposed but malfunctioning Imperial and Separatist droids. After stopping a rogue droid, Bo-Katan and Djarin follow its trail to the Resister, a droid bar, and convince its bartender and clientele to help them. They discover that the droids were sabotaged through nanodroids in the bar's maintenance fluid, which were covertly imported by Commissioner Helgat, head of the Planetary Security Office. Confronted, Helgat reveals himself as a separatist before Bo-Katan knocks him out, and the Duchess sentences him to an exile on the moon of Paracrat. Granted an audience with the Mandalorian privateers, Bo-Katan challenges Woves for leadership and defeats him. And to help her ascendancy, Djarin admits he's captured by the cyborg in the mines of Mandalore and is rescued by Bo-Katan, which rightfully bestows the Darksaber back to her. So we solved that whole Darksaber elephant in the room thing that was always coming our way. So yes, this is the Jack Black and
Lizzo
episode. Yes, which brought the fandom menace together again. Oh, lovely. So everybody's views on this gloriously episode.
Being a big fan of episode 2, like I love this episode because you got the droids and you got Count Dooku mentioned and all the stuff and separatists, and it was great.
It was just, I just thought it was really fun.
I thought you were going episode 2 in the love story, because this is the one that starts out with the love story, right?
That was great too. Yeah,
Aqualish and the Mon Cal or whatever.
Whoever
that couldn't, and that's why the.
I've forgotten that.
In Clone Wars, wasn't it like those were the 2 planets that were always, or 2 species that were always at war, and then Jar Jar had to come and help again, save everybody?
Right.
There was the prince, and then that shark guy was trying to get everybody to fight.
All that battle underwater, wasn't it?
Yeah. So to see it's Romeo and Juliet, these 2 people.
Yeah, it was very much a Romeo and Juliet, the 2 houses that shouldn't be.
I read online that guy, the prince, was supposed to be the bounty from season 1 that Mando didn't take. So they show him on the puck. Yeah, he's like, oh, this is some dignitary's son. He's looking for, he's like, oh, pass, and then he gives him the Grogu thing. So
yeah, that is true. I see that too.
Yeah. So nice timing.
I thought this one was fun. A lot of people complained about all the extra people appearing in it, but the thing is, like, this is a side story. Like, they just needed to get to Axe Woves, and they needed to get the saber over to Bo-Katan, but then that episode would be like 5 minutes long. Like, we were wondering where Axe Woves was, so they told the story, and it was like, you know what? If we're going to introduce this planet, let's do the usual thing, which all of season 1 is go do something, but then you have to do this task for me. So it's like, okay, it's going back to that old formula.
Quest,
yeah, and they did the quest. But the thing is, if it was just some rando actor that we never would have heard of, we wouldn't have cared that Christopher Lloyd was the bad guy type of thing. We wouldn't have cared about it at all. It would have just been some random guy who would have got kidnapped, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever, I guess. But you make it Christopher Lloyd, you automatically bring attention to it. Jack Black and Lizzo, I mean, that's a great combination. The only thing is, it would have been great if Lizzo had some sort of space flute,
I was waiting.
that would be great, but it doesn't need to turn into a musical number type of thing.
I loved all the stuff when he was helping, Grogu was helping her cheat playing the game.
Yeah, so that's the thing. And people have said Grogu's really played a side, and Din have played side characters in this whole season. And that's fine. We're seeing a ton of Mandalorian information. If you don't have a story to tell, don't try to force a story in. But you need a daily dose of cute Grogu, and this did all of that. He was eating a bunch of food. He got knighted. Like, it just brings else to my face because it's just.
I don't think Mando was sidetracked. I mean, he all that stuff with him and the droids, and he's just kicking it.
It's like, I'm gonna be a jerk. That was pretty. It's like, dang, he really was. He was in his. He was in a candy store. He's like, yeah, I can just kick all these and they'll attack me. Like, that was pretty.
Yeah, this is gonna be one of the episodes I probably rewatch because I love seeing all the droids, and they had a droid bar and they're all drinking their oil.
Oh yeah, I mean, for as much as there was a lot of cheesy plot and dialogue stuff in this, but for all that, it was very beautiful to look at. I love
the fact that they can make all those droids look so movie.
Yeah, and just having droids, just hearing a battle droid was worth the entrance fee alone for me, really. It was just great to see them again on proper TV rather than an animated kind of thing. I know
we got nanobots, right? That's what that they're putting in that oil, the oil can.
That's where my head went to, Chancellor. That it was a very gorgeous episode. Just so aesthetically well done. In the city that we see, all the droids we see, all the creatures that we see, the creature design and everything was very Star Warsy and very well done. Nothing seemed rushed. Nothing seemed low rent sci-fi movie design or whatever. Everything was very well done. A lot of time, energy, and effort went into to make this seem and feel a very real and very legit place and a legit scene. This episode was the one though that had a sprinting battle droid. Didn't care so much for that, and it also had their ship get taken over when she's coming onto planet or whatever. She's just like, I don't know, it's something's taken over my control. It's just like there's Favreau every once in a while takes some serious liberties with his storytelling in a known Star Wars universe, but such as it is, it was the side quest aspect of it, like you said, Ryan, it has to have sort of that it's going to have that. So to complain about we got all this ancillary stuff and just to get to the dark side, well, yeah, that's how you get content and something to watch for an hour or however long it was, So I never really understood that aspect of complaints or criticisms to things about, well, they did all this other stuff that didn't mean much. Well, yeah, sure, but it got to the meaning part when it needed to.
I mean, I grew up in the 80s watching Knight Rider and stuff and Dukes of Hazzard, so like that was TV back then. You watch the show, it's entertaining, they do some side quests, and then everyone's happy on it. So like that's just how it is. That's TV. It doesn't have to be like.
They were some of the most formatic programs in the world, weren't they? They always throw the same sort of format. You know where it's going.
And Ron, going back to the taking over the ship thing, so the guy that did that was Christopher Lloyd. So he's gone now, so no one can ever do that again. So they kind of wrapped that up. Because that was
but how does her ship get to? I mean, my God, if you fly into planet and somebody can take control of your ship and fly you into the lava pit, or she was like, I don't know, I can't control it. I took her hands off and just waited for it to land her on a nice safe landing pad. Well, that could also go another way in terms of knots. It's just one little sort of.
That's just
it needed to happen for the story, but yeah, any
that's
other
just
episode.
It's just your IT. That's just your IT side of your company. Just thinking this should be two-factor authentication or something here, shouldn't there? They should not be able to just take something over. But yeah.
This planet was very cool because it was brightly lit. Like so many of the places they've been have been in dark things, and it's kind of easy to hide special effects and hide stuff when it's in the dark. The spider and all that sort of stuff goes in it. But this was a brightly lit, bathed in sunshine.
Didn't they do
everything
like
is
the
there?
Darksaber scenes in the middle of the field, like in the daytime, right?
Yeah,
like that's
that fight. To do that in that environment was kind of awesome. Definitely a Logan's Run. I mean, you're dating yourself saying that, Stephen, but I got the reference as well. Whatever. But yeah, the modes of transport, the little multi-passenger little tube type of things shooting around is very Logan's Run.
I did not see Logan's Run the first time around. But
touche. Likewise.
It was alive actually when it came out, but I didn't see it until years later. Yeah.
Aware of it. Yeah, exactly. Touche. I did not see it real time either.
One of my favorite films of all time.
So, what do you guys think about how the Darksaber was transferred over? How it got to Bo-Katan?
I thought it was brilliant. I was like, oh yeah, that did work that way.
Because my thought is like they're always like, well, you have to win it in combat, and I kept thinking, I was like, Din is not going to fight anybody. Like, he doesn't want to fight Bo for it. He doesn't want to fight Boba. Like, he doesn't want to be a fighter for that thing. So it's like I always wondered how they were going to move it over. And people pointed it out the moment it happened in that Spider episode. It's like, shouldn't it be Bo-Katan's? This is dumb. Well, sure enough, 2 or 3 episodes later, they're like, oh, that was the hint that it transferred over type of thing. And it was like, it's a good way to get it off Din without him having to fight for something. Yeah. It goes to Bo, who personally has really stepped up her game in this. And she's a great character. And I very much enjoyed watching her on screen. So I think
they handled it in a way they needed to, because like you say, he wasn't going to be fighting, and the technicality aspects of it is all there, that he was bested by the creature and then she bests the creature, so yeah, she owns it. They got to figure out the challenging though of rule for the thing, or they're going to be right back into the same sort of boat they were as Mandalorians, where they're just constantly going to be killing or fighting each other, for rule. Or you get somebody like a Maul who's got special magical powers, force powers, and learns that that's a thing and overpowers them and becomes the ruler. If they're going to continue to be beholden to that, well, whoever wins that in battle rules us, and we got to follow them blindly. That's not going to bode well for their longevity.
We were going over in the chat like who actually should own the Darksaber, since like Kenobi defeated Maul, then Kenobi should have it, because nobody defeated Maul for it.
The first thing I thought of once, and I know we're skipping ahead, so spoiler for the final episode, but the Darksaber is destroyed. And the first thing I thought of is you, Ron, where you kept saying it's like, where I was like, yeah, they kind of need it for, because they're leaders, and you're like, it's only diminishing their numbers. Well, now without it, maybe they'll be more democratic type of thing, and it could just be a fight not to the death type of thing, where they can elect powerful leaders or strong leaders.
Vote or something. Right.
Well, I mean, Pre-Vizsla had the Darksaber in Clone Wars. He wasn't the leader of Mandalore, so
Yeah. So it's
well,
like,
that's
why-
because Mandalore proper didn't. It was a more democratic and a peaceful or a legitimate society type of thing or whatever. But in the off-world part, he was the ruler of that because he held it.
Yeah.
But then once Mandalore proper falls, then they look. Anyway, yeah, they have their story, their lore to tell to figure it all out. I did forget about it getting destroyed. Right? It does. Maybe they did find a way to sort of handle that aspect of it.
So where your point is, it's only going to diminish the numbers and create infighting. Well, now it's not going to be there. So I mean, let alone politics creating infighting. It seems like
it's just going to be some different vehicle. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It'll be something else, but at least it won't be constantly killing or because what happened, right? Maul beheads Pre Vizsla or Pax Pre, right?
Pre.
Yeah.
Whoever. Yeah, he was the one. He was like, so be it, or you won, so do it. Type of thing, and so that's one less. All that knowledge is gone. All that,
and that was a Jedi's weapon. Like, so that's not what its intention was. So it was kind of cursed in a way. Like it's not supposed to be something like, well, you defeat and you own it. Like that's not what a lightsaber is supposed to be. And initially,
they built that.
it is a lightsaber. So
yeah, so obviously Favreau felt the same way and eliminated it. That's simple as that. So it'll be interesting. I was never more invested in Mandalorians than I am now after this season because now they have their world back. I want to see where they go.
A lot of world building.
I want to see what happens with them.
All right, so next
we got Ugnaughts. We got a lot of great Ugnaught action.
Oh yeah, this is the one where he was talking to them about, and he kept saying,
"Oh yeah, I knew."
I've spoken.
I've spoken. Yes, and suddenly they're like, yeah. That was
right. This ends with the Darksaber basically getting her bringing the Mandalorians or getting the fleet back together or whatever, or not together, but getting some control over the fleet.
Yep.
And like I say, that all looked gorgeous because it was all outside in the bright daylight. Yeah. So what's that next? Where do we go next?
The penultimate episode at chapter 23, The Spies. So the Moff is back. The Moff. Moff Gideon is informed by Enia Kane, who then disappears, of the Mandalorians' intent to retake the planet. Gideon relays this information to the Shadow Council, a group of Imperial remnant warlords. He requests reinforcements from Commander Brendel Hux and questions Captain Penenian of the absence of Grand Admiral Thrawn. Reassembled on Navarro, Bo-Katan unites the Mandalorian clans and prepares a recon party to explore the surface of Mandalore and locate the Great Forge. Before leaving, Grief Karga presents Djarin with IG-12. Yes. The rebuilt version of IG-11, which is able to be controlled by Grogu. On Mandalore, the group meet another surviving clan who is loyal to Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan admits that she surrendered to Gideon shortly after the Light of 1,000 Tears, hoping that her people would be spared from further harm. The party finds the Great Forge but is ambushed by Beskar-enhanced stormtroopers. Djarin is captured by a Beskar-clad Gideon, who reveals his intent to complete the Great Purge of Mandalore. He attempts to kill the search party, but Bo-Katan uses the Darksaber to make an escape for the group. Paz Vizsla stays behind to buy time, but is killed by Gideon's Praetorian guards. There's also misses out that Djarin gets captured by the stormtroopers and stuff at the end. So we have a bit of a cliffhanger here on the side of a cliff-ish.
Same Mando time, same Mando channel.
Mando time, yes.
I always tease the little Johnny Fat, the stories he's telling is little Johnny Fat is playing with his action figures. And that scene where the lady spy Imperial or whatever is talking to the Imperial probe droid, the probe droid, the scale of it, it's like he had a 3 3/4 figure of the girl, but he had a 6-inch Black Series figure of a probe droid, because that probe droid, just the scale of it in that scene looks off. It just there's something they're trying to do something ominous. Well, perhaps when somebody's standing right next to it, because we've only ever seen Han and Chewie at vast distance away from it, whatever. But there was something weird about that scene, and that was kind of my takeaway. It was just
I feel like the ones that killed
playing
Val
with the two different scale toys.
Yeah.
And they were just we've never seen them stand next to or fly, hovering next to a 5'6", we've never seen them anywhere near humans.
They're to scale.
Yeah. But it was very cool to see it. It was it's such an ominous.
We got like
not
so much
design,
Coruscant.
but pro design. It was cool to see one back in action of sorts, flying around on Coruscant wherever seems a little odd. Somebody you think would notice that thing and go, hey, wait, what's that doing here? But whatever, such as it is.
What's the spot?
We also get the reverse Jedi Council, Moff Gideon and all the guys in the blue glowy format, talking to him, like I say, talking about Thrawn, talking about what needs to be happening in this post Empire, remnants of the Empire. Sort of, it was kind of neat to see some insight into
Hux's dad.
Yeah, into after Return of the Jedi, where all these various factions and all these various leaders are trying to take things. So is the guy covering for Thrawn, doesn't know where he is, truly has no clue, and is kind of like, oh no, he's coming. Hold on, or he has been, does know where he is. I kind of lead towards the former. That I think he's like covering, stalling, or otherwise doesn't have any contact, doesn't have any clue, and is kind of waiting for him to get back.
Yeah, I wonder if Thrawn is back or is he still lost? I can't remember exactly what was said when Ahsoka fought that lady in the town. When she asked about
the timeline. I don't think he's. I don't think he's back, or I don't think he's in play in any way, shape, or form in this Mandalorian bit of timeline.
I don't know. I think he is, but he's probably somewhere. Like, he's not lost. Like, they know that he's there, that he exists still. They didn't presume him to still be dead from Rebels.
I don't think Ahsoka's going to go looking for Thrawn, because I don't think she really cares all that about Ezra.
She wants to find out where Ezra's at.
Jedi. But so yeah, I don't know where it's going with
the most recent. She saw Ezra grab him as he jumps off into hyperspace. So she knows the two of them are together, in proximity, right?
Yeah, I think they all assumed that he made sure that Thrawn was going to be gone, so
because he left a message as he was going. He was like,
so if Thrawn's back, then that means Ezra's probably somewhere, They just assumed they both died.
Still contend he's not back. That guy's just blowing smoke, because Gideon practically calls him out and says, where is he? What's going on?
But Ahsoka has wind of that. There's Thrawn speakings, and the lady that she fought, like, she's like basically working for him too. So I mean, if you got more than one person saying you're like, oh, Thrawn, then yeah, he's not missing in action anymore.
Somebody knows where he is.
Yeah.
So. It's just below him to go to this meeting because he doesn't care pretty much. He's like, I got my own stuff.
He's checking out some artwork somewhere. But yeah, no, I like how they did all the infighting with the setting up, who's going to try to take over. Potentially one of them does, and that's where we get the First Order from. So.
Yeah, Brendel. So
yeah,
there's a big tease for that with his cloning. And then I found it funny how Moff's like, I'm not doing any cloning, and then he's totally doing a ton of cloning.
Well, he's like, the best part of these suits is I'm in it. I'm like, oh, he's in all of them. That when they showed that part, I'm like, that makes sense. And then you find out in the next episode. Yeah, I thought this was a fun. I mean, yeah, going back to like, you said like.
Well, what happened that he had a fleet of dark troopers that we needed, that was going to win, and we needed Jedi Master Luke Skywalker to come in and best him. But then he makes he doesn't make another group of them. He makes a bunch of yahoos that are in white armor, that were easily bested by lasers. Why didn't he make another group of dark troopers, but get rid of the droid? Or no, I think they weren't droids inside of them, were they?
No, they were.
Were they
the dark
autonomous, or were
droids.
They were?
They were robots. Yeah.
Maybe it was the behind the scenes part of it where they were played by people. Anyway, yeah. Why didn't he create another batch of them? Was the question? Why? Against the Jedi Master,
and
they didn't fail against the commoners.
You need them hooked up to those ships. Like they were charging the whole time.
Why make lesser?
It's not like he has an ego problem. He thinks he can do it himself. He's an egomaniac. That's the whole.
It's still there if he wants them. He just felt that the best car was the next better step. So he's just like, oh, I don't want the older model. I want these best car.
Well, but those white ones that fly now weren't Beskar induced. Didn't have any Beskar in them. They were easily bested by laser bolts. So there's a bit of a disconnect there of.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, because he destroyed all the.
How?
They had to shoot him in the neck and stuff like that. Remember, they kept pushing him down and shooting him
Yeah,
in the
that's
back of the
right. They
head.
did. Yeah, because they did say, "Oh, they're Beskar," and like, yeah, they couldn't shoot. That's right. That was the whole issue with that episode.
But if you go back to the ones that Din was fighting, they were not easily bested. Is my point. Is all I'm asking is why he doesn't create another batch of them. Like you say, there was a charging aspect to them that they needed to get.
It just seemed like
charged.
I mean, why not keep using battle droids? I mean, and switch to clones. I mean, it's the technology just is too much to keep up with. And
there was a line in it that it's a Beskar. It's a Beskar. It's not true Beskar. It's a Beskar alloy. So it's not going to be as good as Beskar, but
which is why you have shards. To answer your question from last time.
Yeah, there was a lot in this episode. I mean, like IG-12, I've mentioned a Thrawn.
Oh, that was funny.
Battle. I mean, what a great battle that was, where they really were flying around. So cinematic. Like, this is a TV series, and it's such movie quality how they're flying through the underground. They're doing air battles, and Mandalorians obviously have the upper hand because they've trained in air battles. They have all this tricks, and apparently everybody's fireproof. I don't know. So everybody's now.
And they had that crazy monster come out when they were on that weird pirate ship thing. That looked pretty cool.
Giant beast. I was like, they have the worst luck with whatever worlds they're on. They have all these huge, and I love seeing big giant beasts, but I was like, man, this is constant.
Every planet they go to.
And what a great sacrifice for Paz Vizsla. Like, he turned into like a jerk, kind of like the opposite of Din. And then a couple episodes, he was like, all right, I'll join you. He totally spoke up. It got everyone in there. Like, what a great character arc, where he literally tried to fight him for the Darksaber at one point. And then he ends up speaking for him. He ends up backing Bo-Katan as the leader, thanking her for saving his son. And then it's like, this is the way. And he pushes everybody away and he sacrifices himself and beats a ton of people, before the cool Praetorian Guards come along. But yeah, what a great character arc for him. Just to kind of see him sacrifice. And a big sacrifice is always something. So to see for him doing
let's go out.
Yeah. He also had the smallest helmet of all Mandos. It was really quite tight around his head compared to anybody else's. I noticed. Couldn't get over that, but yeah.
Yeah, so excellent character, but like you said, cliffhanger. I think it was just an all-around really good, just packed episode. It really is a perfect penultimate episode. All this great information, and it's like you have this big threat back. They obviously still teasing Thrawn, which they're keeping on everyone's mind. But yeah, I thought very good episode.
We finally found out what happened with Bo and the Darksaber, how she lost it. There's a lot of info.
That's a great character arc too on hers. Like, she admitted, we always wondered what happened, and it's like, I was willing to give this up to save our planet, and that's why I hate him so much, because
and he killed them anyways. Yeah, as they're leaving.
Yeah, so she was willing to give up everything, her leadership, just to save her planet, and probably the ridicule of her people, and then he does it anyway, and it's just like, oh, so heartbreaking.
And of course, the Praetorian Guards were just awesome in everything they do.
The weapons they had were, I don't remember. I gotta rewatch Last Jedi again. Were they always purple, like the lasers coming off them?
They were in The Last Jedi. Yeah.
Were they purple?
I'm pretty sure they were. Well, not sure, but I'm pretty sure they were.
I just like how they just have Praetorian Guards just like, oh, lend me a couple. Like, okay, here.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm just a bit curious about, is they just available for hire or something,
I guess.
Well, in that meeting with the reverse Jedi Council, the bad guy Jedi Council, he requests support. He requests bodyguards and bombers and all that sort of stuff because he's had a threat, and they question, but they ultimately deliver it to him. So I think they do have him lying around, or whatever you want to say. I don't know where they were or who they were protecting before they got reassigned to come protect him. Mm-hmm. But he makes that request of that council of sorts.
I think they were with Brendel Hux, and Brendel Hux is the one that's probably specifically dealing with Snoke.
Oh, right. Okay. Maybe. Yes. That makes more sense.
We got them sitting around. We got the helmet versus the helmetless again. Mando, the two different factions, and they're sitting around cooking the bird or cooking something, and it's another campfire scene, and there's a bit of there's that always going to be that sort of conflict of someone's going to look down on one faction's going to look down on the other faction when they've got no one else to fight. I guess when they don't have a common enemy, then they're going to start looking at themselves and having some of that. But that'll be Bo-Katan's charge, if you will, is to keep those factions.
Well, they got Grogu to break
together
them
/ in line. Well, yeah, exactly.
Now they just
No.
they just witnessed someone who wears a helmet willing to sacrifice himself, and he says, "This is the way." So they could easily spread that word now to the ones who usually wear helmets. Like, the way is you sacrifice yourself or whatever it is. Your focus is the group. That is the way type of thing. So it's you had someone with a helmet give their life for all sorts of people. So again, it's just spreading the word of what a real Mandalorian should be, and hopefully it's a combination of both cultures type of thing. If you want to wear a helmet, if not,
we kind of get a hint of Grogu, like he needs to be a Jedi because he, is being the peacekeeper and doing all this stuff. It's like the same way with, they said Bo-Katan, she walks both worlds. I mean, Grogu kind of does now too. He's a Jedi and a Mandalorian, so like it's going to be interesting to see where they end up having him go. I mean, we're assuming he's going to one day become a Jedi in the future since he can live so long. But I liked how he, his instinct wasn't to like hit anybody or do anything. He's like, I have to break up this fight,
Yeah, Din's like, I didn't teach him that.
Yeah. I thought that was great. All right, next one, Steven.
Right. Hang on a minute. There we go.
How's that one end?
That one ends with talking guards. Hit him pass.
Yes.
Yeah, they killed Paz, and then Mando's captured by the Joker.
That's right. So then, we get to the finale, which is chapter 24, The Return. Bo-Katan and her reconnaissance squad retreat from Moff Gideon's base. Upon returning to the Mandalorian flagship, Axe Woves sends the remaining Mandalorians to reinforce the planetary troops while he defends the ship from Imperial TIE squadrons. With assistance from Grogu, Djarin escapes from captivity and seeks out Gideon. Djarin and Grogu discover cloning tanks filled with clones of Gideon who can use the Force, and Djarin destroys them. After a lengthy skirmish between the Mandalorians and Beskar-enhanced stormtroopers within the base, Bo-Katan, Djarin, and Grogu make a final stand against Gideon and his Praetorian guards, in which the Darksaber is destroyed. Roves rams the Mandalorian capital ship into the Imperial base, and Gideon is consumed by the resulting blast. He's dead, Jim. Grogu protects Bo-Katan and Djarin from the blast with a Force bubble. After battle, the Mandalorians restart the Great Forge at the heart of Mandalore, and Djarin formally adopts Grogu. Afterwards, Djarin takes up honest contract work with the Carson Teva and moves into a cabin on the outskirts of Nefaro's capital, as previously offered to him by Greef Karga, where IG-11 is to be built by the Enzenian mechanics to serve as Nefaro's new marshal. There's a lot there to get your fingers in. That is a lot, actually, when you summarise like that. Not sure it's quite got it quite right there, but that's more or less what happens.
And Bo-Katan flying in the air with the Darksaber is awesome. That whole battle.
Everything about it is just like I can't even pick out a thing that's the best because like Moff Gideon had
was fighting like
like he was awesome. He was double teamed against everybody. You got to see Grogu getting control and fire type of stuff. Huge battles, big story. I mean, the other thing is like I just want more, which isn't a bad thing. I can't fault them for that. They tell the good story. It definitely feels like Din's taking a little break with his feet kicked up, and he's like, I'm going to go do some other adventures now, while we kind of switch focus to Ahsoka and get on this bigger thing. And then whenever it comes back for season 4 of Mando, they can, do some small adventures and then jump in with like the bigger story. But they bring back IG-11, which was hinted in the very first episode type of thing. Bringing back him, and it didn't end up being just this huge battle like I expected. I'm like, oh, they'll just bring everybody in. He's now the protector of the town, So,
and he was a really good protector of the. I mean, that first episode when he was the bounty hunter, like he was pretty much unstoppable before he. I mean, the only one that was going to kill him was himself. He wanted to self-destruct. Hopefully, they took that out of him so he doesn't blow up Navarro. But yeah, no, it was just. I was watching it, and I'm like, it just felt like I was watching a movie, like these two episodes. It's great finale.
And I'm literally shocked that they busted that saber up. So
yeah, I know. I didn't expect them to do that. But now they got the Mythostore now down there that they showed again. So
Yeah, they're showing. So it's like there's so much more story threads that are open, and they're not plot holes. They'll be explored later, but it's like I just have this need. I want to know more of the story, and that's a win. That's a success. I mean, it still had an ending. There's another one coming soon with Ahsoka to help us out, but this past Wednesday it felt kind of empty, I must say. When
yeah.
there's no,
We've gone all
but
year with new Star Wars every Wednesday, and this was the first time.
yeah. And I was really kind of worried that Axe Woves or the armor was going to turn. Like they
I
looked.
thought she was gonna fly up there and it was gonna be destroyed. You know, the ship.
Yes, that's
And
what I was expecting him to come to fly into trouble.
yeah.
Didn't happen. No.
I
like the
mean,
way
I
he
guess
just
you
gets on
can't
the
beat up
ship.
the Mandalorian too
Just
much.
gets on the ship and just says, "Everybody's in trouble down there. Get down there pretty quick." And it's just like everybody just goes straight forward, doesn't they?
I was happy he didn't just blow up.
How big is that ship? I still get confused. I know it's a light cruiser, but it looks sometimes it looks massive, and other times it looks short. I just think, how can you control a great big ship like that with just like 10 crew? But I suppose.
Remember how big it was when they stole it on season 2? When they're like going down each corridor and each corridor, like the thing was huge, and they had all that cargo in the back. So I mean, it has room.
It just seems like you need more than 10 people to look after a ship like that. But there you go. That's the way it goes. We've got
I mean,
autopilot.
Han and Chewie flowed that big freighter that they had.
True.
Yeah.
True. Just sort of floats around there, doesn't it? But
You need 2 people to fly the Millennium Falcon. Like you have this huge ship that's powered by like one dude. I
it
love
does
the
make sense. But it's sci-fi. It's sci-fi. It's not supposed to make total sense.
It was on autopilot.
I just like the TIE fighters attacked it. They're just like firing at it, and it's just like blown up all over the place. Thinking, what shields, man? Shields? They've not got no shields.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was
I
like,
was just
put on
thinking,
your
come on. But yeah, whatever.
Just to crash it where everybody is. He's like, I'm going to smash this on top of you.
Yeah, I was also thinking that. But let's send a message ahead saying, everybody get out. I'm about to send a ship in to destroy the whole thing. No, it's just like, surprise! You've got 5 seconds to clear it.
Yeah. Only the strong survive.
He's like, yeah, they all got jetpacks.
Yeah. Ships crashing into things is a bit of a going theme at the moment, but no spoilers. Yeah.
I knew you were going to say that. You talk about the size of that thing or whatever, and it's just a fireball. The sheer mass of that thing crashing in at the end there and taking out, crashing into the mass of that thing, the destruction that would be going on, it would be more than just the fireball that they needed protection from, and
yes.
They didn't really address that aspect of what's happening when a capital ship crashes planet side into something, at speed, gravitational velocity, terminal velocity speed. There would be a hell of a lot more destruction.
Realistically,
they needed
a chance of getting out there, have they? Nobody knew it was coming.
No.
And in the time you've seen it, you would not have got more than like 5 seconds to get out. I mean, realistically, they all should have been dead, really.
Well, weren't they like covered so that they made a big hole in the ceiling? So they would have had to go out when it came in,
Well, yeah, exactly. By the time you've seen it,
crashes in that hole.
You go. I mean, it's just not possible to get out that time. The time you see it, it's got to feel that it's got to be.
The counter is always, it's sci-fi and there's suspension of disbelief, and then there's Star Wars suspension of disbelief, and we've never had to suspend. I don't want to say never, but we don't usually have to suspend it in such a crazy grand scale. I mean, we do. I'm nitpicking at sorts, whatever, because the flipping Death Star
in the
has
Falcon inside the belly of a monster.
So It is.
It reminds me. It's a bit like you used to get any classic TV or sci-fi thing. You get someone building up a lot of tension, and somebody's about to shoot, or someone's about to crash, and it would stop. The scene would cut, and it would come back again. It's like 5 seconds before that, and everybody's like miles away from where they were before the cut scene. It's that kind of thing, isn't it? You kind of think, oh my god, no, and then it comes back, and then like it's not that bad after all. Timing wise, it doesn't really work out. I was thinking myself, he's not told anybody. I thought his last message would be, "Hey, I'm coming in hot."
I thought he did tell Bo-Katan.
Did he?
Yeah.
But what did he say though?
He warned them.
Yeah.
He told her that he was crashing.
He left it to the last minute, didn't he?
And they just kept fighting. Yeah.
Yeah, he still left it to the last minute.
They were like off to the left, and when he was already coming down, so I think they were trying. I think she did tell them to get out of there.
But you know, it's like people say, "I'll be there in a minute," and people are like, "Yeah, it means 10, really." So like, kind of not bothering. It's kind of like, look, they just told him he's got to crash in there, and you're just like, fighting. No. Anyhow.
Well, we haven't also addressed the whole he right, doesn't he jetpack and break gravitational pull and go to the ship that's in orbit, but they couldn't fly to a bird's nest across the planet or whatever. It's something, it's convenience. It's Johnny Fav's convenient storytelling. When he needs it, he'll make up the rules to fit such a thing.
Space is only 20 miles up, isn't it, from us, roughly?
Yeah.
And Nest might be in miles more than 20 miles.
Yeah, they went like to the other side of almost the planet with the jetpack.
They could have gone a long way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of fuel it's got, because it's not exactly the biggest pack in the world anyway, is it? But
well, that's where the umbrage, that's where my disdain for it comes into play, because we've had those Clone War episodes, Mandalore, where they did fly forever. They flew from on and on and on, and we sort of countered with the weight. How do those things have such fuel capacity? They're so small, and we sort of justified it at the time that they have an unlimited fuel supply or unlimited transport, but it is what it is. As Ryan said in a previous Senate, that all right, so sometimes they are low on fuel, and if they fill up, they run for a very, 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 very long time. But and they were on a planet with no resources or limited resources, so fueling up would be a bit of a challenge. But it's convenient storytelling sometimes in what we're getting.
To make it fit at times.
Yeah, the guards because this is the episode that had those F1 red barriers or whatever that have to come down in between or whatever, and like in between each set of red barriers was guards standing there, in case those doors came down. There were two that you'd have to, it was very video game-esque. Oh, what a good gig that is, to just stand there and have to wait for somebody to come through to protect, that if they're not droids, those guys in white armor, are they droids or are they humans that you have to...
It's a bit overkill, isn't it? It's a sort of long plank, isn't it? And a great big fall beneath it. And these great big grey shields. It's very, took me straight back to the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
That was the aesthetic
and
we was going for sure.
And then we see Gideon walking through them in the beginning. They're just opening for him when he walks by. So
it's right. Maxwell Smart sort of just opening for him. He's got the puck he's got the remote in his hand or whatever.
It's over the top, really. He doesn't need the guards and those shields, really. But hey, it was
made for a cool visual. It was neat to watch.
Well, it's like, why not make those surround an entire city? Why not put those shields around a ship?
It gave R5 something to do, didn't it? So it was quite...
Oh, that was fun. I like the R5.
Bit for him. And look, he's got rocket jets. Who knew that? Just like R2, little cunning droid. How
did we care for the mouse droid? This is the episode the mouse droid had police lights or whatever on it. It seems.
They all fight him.
Yeah, that was funny.
Bad boys. Bad cops, isn't it? Bad boys.
I think they just flashed. They did not flash red and blue, right? They were just flash. There was some sort of light.
They flashed red.
There was some sort of flashing. I remember.
He just pushes one off the edge. That's funny.
Yeah, it was kind of like so many of them. I mean, why didn't they just go off and alert someone? Oh, they did. The alarm did go, didn't it?
The alarm.
The alarm did go off, and he thought, oh no, I'm going to get some stormtroopers back with me. I'm just going to call my friends. But whatever.
The Praetorian guards, the red guards, why? I mean, just for cool effect, that they weren't the same design. I guess the timeline is such that they
changed Stormtrooper armor every 6 months. So
yeah, they're newer. These are the first iteration. This is Gen 1 as far as we've seen, whatever. And what we've seen before is actually later in a timeline. So those are Gen 2. So that's, like you say, the trooper armor always changes. So why wouldn't Praetorian guards just to have a new design?
Yeah.
Well, remember, Praetorian guards were in the original trilogy too. So this is like much farther than Gen 1.
You mean the Imperial guards? Are they considered the same?
You think those royal guards and these guys are other than being all red?
Yeah, Praetorian guards have been around since the original trilogy.
Did they call the Praetorian guards though? I've always thought they were just Imperial
guards. I mean, there's discussions on this online.
That Praetorian or whatever wasn't until the sequel trilogy. I don't think we've had the guards in terms of the red full red
had that.
guards, but they were always referred to as just royal guards. I don't think I don't know that I remember looking up Praetorian at one point in time when the sequel trilogy came out, but I don't think we've ever seen that term before, Ryan. We may have seen the character design, if you will, or seen them before, as you're trying to state, but not in terms of
being called Praetorian guard.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't be Imperial Guards anymore because there's no Emperor. So maybe it's the same thing, it just defaults. They're just called by a different title because they're not guarding an Emperor. They're guarding somebody leader,
Well, they were royal, or no, the Imperial Guard. Yeah.
The Royal Guards of the Republic, the blue
ones. Yeah, the blue ones. So yeah, it's just naming semantics.
Yeah.
So it all ends pretty much. Everything all gets wrapped up pretty much by the end of this.
The spy. Well, if they were the spies, I don't know if they were the spies, but the guys on the Mandalorians that were on the planet, that were on the pirate ship, they don't notice all the activity that is Juan Carlos Esposito's character. I'm drawing a blank on it. Jeez. Gideon. Yeah, they don't notice all that activity. He was flying bombers in and out of there. All his troopers, everything that he was doing, they don't ever.
It's a big planet.
A, they don't notice him, and B, he doesn't notice them. It seemed a little.
They did travel for quite some time though to get there. Like they knew where the forge was, and they might have left that area like long ago.
They're just now going back to take a look at the Great Forge.
Well, why would you go? They had no reason to go. They were just trying to look for food. They're like nomads going around and trying to hide from those creatures in the ground and stuff,
They had reason not to go, and it's your holiest of holies.
But then everybody thought it was, polluted, whatever. So. And those crazy cavemen guys are out there too. So I mean, you got a bunch of sickly dudes on a ship. They're not going to go fight those cavemen guys. They're just trying to survive.
Only about 4 or 5 of them as well, weren't there?
Yeah, not that many.
On the ship, which I was getting very much a bit of a KOF vibe when they came through on that boat on ice thing.
KOF.
Everybody remembers the America song, but that's what I was. That's what I was thinking. But and a bit like the Wrexham crew in Rebels on the.
It was like that kind of.
It's like what we've got to get across the ice. Why don't we make our vehicle look just like a boat?
I was thinking Captain Jack was like sea turtles, mate.
It's just, but it was good. But it was cool though. It was still cool.
Was it floating? Was it like?
No. It was gliding. It was sort of sliding on the ice, wasn't it?
On the ice.
Like skates and wind.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and the wind and stuff. Yeah. So everything all gets pretty much tidied up quite nicely. IG-11's back. Mando's put his feet up, a little house on the prairie kind of style at the end, and
Grogu's got a son now. He's got Din Grogu.
And we've got we've got no clues for the next season really at all, because it's just all tied up.
I think we'll have to find out what happens in Ahsoka.
Like the 80s.
It really felt like they buttoned everything up in a manner that if they stopped here they could.
Yes, I agree.
That guy's dispatched. Paz is gone. Moff Gideon is with an asterisk gone. Everybody's and
Mandalorian's reborn.
Grogu and Mandalorian's being reborn. All there's more story to tell if someone wants to, but it's also didn't have any great cliffhanger. Didn't have any great. Can't wait to see in the next season to see how they resolve X. Those things are out there, but there was nothing.
Which is rare for Star Wars.
Yes.
Well, that's what makes me think they did that. There was some purpose behind the storytelling or getting to that point that they don't know where they're going or what they're doing. Is there some infighting? And then we also got the announcement that Filoni's making a movie to wrap it all up. Do we get another season and then the movie, or does the movie
show up in the movie?
Yeah, does the movie wrap it all up?
Season 4 of Mandalorian already written, so.
Yeah, I just feel like this was just like a big arc that finally wrapped up from the first 3 seasons, 3 seasons. I mean, you got a happy ending at the end of A New Hope, kind of wrapped it up. You got a happy ending at the end of, Last Jedi. Rise of Skywalker. So, I mean, I think this is just them starting over again. They can set up the playing field. You don't have to worry about the other stuff from the past seasons. Now everything's wrapped up. You can start to have new adventures, and who knows where it's going to take them. It could probably lead it more up to the sequel trilogy. He can probably introduce that kind of stuff. So, but yeah.
Did you guys think Grogu was going to say his first words? That they're doing the ceremony or whatever, and he's got to speak if he wants to be the thing or whatever.
Yeah, I was like, he can't talk. And then they
really
said the
made
same thing.
really made it out like he might be dropping his first words, or we were going to hear his first words.
Well, his first word was no.
Mama. There's that thing video going around online and stuff where Grogu's first word is a mama.
Oh gosh.
Not dada or.
That's going to be so difficult for them. How are they going to make him sound?
Yeah, that's one of the things where it's like they never tell it except for like one word or something like that, and then they'll just write a book 15 years from now. So
yeah,
it's difficult. So even give him a name was difficult to do. Now to give him a last name, it's at some point he's gonna have to grow up. I mean, he's 50. He should be.
They got to change all the toys now because he's Din Gringo, isn't he? Not just Grogu anymore. Din Grogu.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's for the puppets.
They're the ones with the child on it and Baby Yoda.
He's the first of that species to have two names. So, because he just has Seattle and Yoda.
He doesn't have two names, but he's called that in the Mandalorian culture.
Yeah, he was given names.
Yeah, it was. He's
still
his
names.
Well, is Master Yoda does he have two names now because he's Master Jedi Yoda? No, it's a title. The Din is
not a title though. That's like his surname.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the family name.
It's like Kenobi.
It's the family name.
Yeah.
I mean, he had one name. It's just now he was adopted. And now he's got another one. Maybe when he can speak, he's like, I don't like that name. I don't want to be called
Well, then
Din.
he'll be Jedi Master Din Grogu.
Like, I hate you, cool. Dad, for running away. Teenage stuff.
Well, no, in the book where he's talking and everything, he's going to be called DJ. No, not DJ, DG. So yeah, it doesn't work.
My gosh,
it's going to be called DJ, but no, it's not that.
He's going to be like a California skater dude now.
Call me DJ. He doesn't have long hair.
In a ponytail. Yeah, I can see it.
He's going to have like Yaddle's hairstyle, but in a man bun.
Just want to race cars, Dad.
I would just want to have a comb over. That would be nice. And a moustache.
And a mustache. Handlebar
mustache. Oh, what fun. Well, are we done?
I think so.
You have like a answer you have to give us? Some secret question?
Yes,
oh, yeah.
I'm saying yes.
Wait, when Little House on the Prairie, the way it ends with her, why is he sitting there with his helmet on? He could have had his helmet off. He should have had his helmet off.
He can't take the helmet off.
He can't take it off around his own son?
No, the same thing with like Pre Vizsla or Pax and his son. That was the last time he's gonna see his son's face ever. So I'm sure his sons never saw his face.
On the plus side, the son doesn't have to wash his face anymore now.
The Mandalorian rule goes to that screwy rule extends the family. Have you ever taken your helmet off and anyone's present and it extends?
That's why they all think they're crazy.
I do admit that is weird. Like it's definitely around family should be okay.
Yeah, I think at some point in time you got to have a little leeway there.
I mean, they create kids, and you're both going to wear the helmets on during that.
It's the only thing you're wearing.
If Kanan
could be blind while conceiving a child, then they can keep their helmets on.
That's completely different.
Oh dear, I'm now going to see some really strange stuff coming up online if I Google the wrong thing. Oh dear.
We didn't talk about the Moff Gideon clone necessarily. I mean,
well,
the jump scare part of it, I didn't care for that at all. Why would the thing come alive? Why would he open his eyes when he got near the thing? It just an unnecessary thing in Star Wars storytelling to do a jump scare.
Jump scare.
Yeah, right.
It's the Minoc on the window.
Just for the fact that it shouldn't be in my Star Wars.
It's fun.
No, the Minoc in the window is a legit jump scare. The Minoc's flying around and lands on the window and scares Leia. The clone Moff Gideon jump scare is he opened his eyes for why?
To show you that they were actually ready to go.
Yeah, almost ready to go.
Kill me, please.
Was there some action that took? Did somebody tap on the glass?
If we got a bit longer,
the thing.
If we got a bit longer, he's got to put his hand up and show his palm, and it says "not penny ship" on it.
Hey, wait, so that was that when Grogu was walking by, right? When they did that?
No. Did
they jump scared Mando, or did they jump scared Grogu?
I don't know. I thought it was.
Maybe it was something with the Force that woke him up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think it's distracting. Wake up.
He was trying to get those things to force power.
I think it was just showing that they were ready to go and that it was, they were done.
Well, I know what it was going for. It was a jump scare for the audience in the real world aspect of Star Wars.
The show was for the audience, Ron.
Bad. It was bad. It shouldn't be in there. There's no reason for the eyes to open. Give me a reason why the eyes open. I gave you a reason why the Minoc lands on the glass and scares her. The eyes opening is just in order to scare us. It's just
to show you that they're animated, that they're not still cooking, that he could use them if he needed to. That was the point.
Have you ever been sitting in a chair and you feel someone behind you and you just turn around? You're like, what are you doing there, Debbie? Quit standing by my shoulder.
Did all of them open at the same time?
We know that the Snokes were alive in those things.
Snokes, Mr. and Mrs. Snoke.
All the bodies that were when Palpatine was experimenting with, they were actually living beings. They weren't just like in stasis. They were there. So they just kind of keep them, like in a jar, but they're fully cognitive. They're in there. It's like being in a bacta tank, you open your eyes in a bacta tank. Yeah, so that's basically what they were in. So it's not like they were frozen or anything.
Okay, folks, we've got to wrap up.
Yep.
We have reached the end. This is how the episode ends, with thunderous applause. It's time for my fellow senators to say goodbye.
You didn't give us the answer to the thing.
But
who's doing that now?
Before we go, I set a question at the start. It wasn't a question, it was a quote. And the quote was, who said, "I believe that pursuit of knowledge is the most noble thing someone can do." Does anybody want to guess who said that? I mean, it's not like Winston Churchill or anything. I'm talking about Star Wars characters here.
Oh, I think I know who it is.
I'm guessing Anakin.
I don't know his name.
He would never say anything that smart. He'd be like, pursuit of power.
It's very apt to what we were just talking about. So it's from the Mandalorian.
Was it
Armorer?
No. So I didn't go for anything obvious because I didn't want to be too easy.
Gideon?
No. Yeah, then is it Moff?
No.
I was thinking it was the old guy from Clone Wars that helped Ahsoka find her lightsaber, but
no,
it was Mando.
I can tell you, it was Dr. Pershing. He said it in the Cobra episode.
I fell asleep during that episode.
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably why I forgot it.
I walked to the fridge to get ice cream while they were talking.
The question I tried to ask at the start, I forgot, so I asked it a bit later, was where did the question's not very great. Whereabouts on her body did Princess Leia get shot while trying to invade the bunker on Endor? Now I could remember that it was the shoulder, but the question is it left or right?
Right.
Well, hand touches her left boob, so it was her right shoulder.
Well, you see, the answer I've got here.
If you watch this, have you never seen it isolated? If you watch that scene when he reaches over to grab her or whatever, there's a part where just beyond briefly, but he does grab her boob and then like moves his hand over to the next part to keep her safe or something like that. But if the scene is isolated at just the freeze framed at just the right spot or whatever, he's grabbing her boob.
I should have to check this because the answer here is the left shoulder. But I mean, first thing I thought was right, and I thought it depends which way she was sort of.
Yeah, because weren't they facing the box?
She got shot when she was trying to fiddle with the opening.
Oh wait, maybe I'm thinking it's the left as she's facing us, but it's the back right.
No, it's supposed to be
she's in the box.
She turns to the right to shoot, and maybe
leans
she gets caught left. Yeah, maybe.
So you're going based on somebody's or you didn't watch the flick in order to.
I got feeling it's the right. I thought it was the right, but it says left here. But it depends. Yeah, it depends which.
They were watching a YouTube video that had it flipped around for copyright purposes.
And there's a guy in blue jeans with a watch behind the door.
Yeah. So okay, so that's what we'll have to go and watch Return of the Jedi and work out this is right.
Yeah, she gets shot in the arm and is fine. Stormtrooper gets shot and he like flies across the room and dies.
it's sci-fi. So all this to remind people is this: don't forget you can join us online on Twitter at /PSW Senate. This is all Ricky. This is how I know this. And on Instagram at PSW Senate Podcast, and on Facebook /group/Positivity Star Wars.
Yeah, come join the group. Everybody should come join the group and
absolutely,
have a conversation.
Yes, we need some. And I did a little quick rhyme to end off with. Thanks to GTP, which is not a sponsor. We all love Star Wars. It's such a blast. The action and adventure are unsurpassed. You can catch it all on demand at D+ with P. May the Force be with you. Love Star Wars positively. Hey.
Oh, that's good.
Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. And
all right, happy Star Wars.
Goodbye for more Senators. Bye-bye.
May the 4th be.
It was left shoulder. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Go switch off. I am the Senate.
Be sure to follow us online. We're at Facebook at PSW Senate. Join our PSW Star Wars Facebook group where we all are in there interacting. You can find us on Twitter at PSW Senate. On Instagram, we're at PSW Senate Podcast. And on TikTok, we're at PSW Senate Podcast. We look forward to hearing from you.
The Force will be with you, always.
Ooh. You guys are lucky that I was sleepy last night. I would have stayed up all night playing Jedi Survivor.
I'm
You
still
just take
waking up.
like I'm gonna do.
And
But then again,
I gotta change the oil in the car, and then we're going to my wife's family's for her birthday. So I'm like, got a full day.
yeah, for sure.
Bum, 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 bum.
Like literally, I set my alarm for like 6, and then I didn't hit snooze, and I fell back to sleep. And then my wife happened to be up. She's like, "What time is your call?" It's 7. I'm like, "Oh yeah." Like it was barely like 6:20.
Shoot, I wake up at 5:30 on my own all the time.
It's because you have to.
I forgot completely about the goldfish in the Police Academy movie.
I wondered if you were gonna get that.
Yeah, tell me what, I've forgotten all about his goldfish. That was Commodore, what we call the main senior chap who had goldfish.
I want to say Commandant Lassant, but that was the bad guy.
No, that's it. No, it's something like that, isn't it? This.
Was it?
I
used to watch the movies. Then they switched out the bad guys for a while.
Yeah.
It was
I think
one of my pictures, the one with the shampoo, right? Where they put glue in the shampoo.
Yeah, there was some with the shampoo. Yeah. I remember Dork with the sun cream was always a good one. Was a good one as well.
I really want to watch one of those again to see how bad they don't hold up.
The first three or four were all right, weren't they? I think that goes.
I think after Citizens on Patrol, it went like too far.
Yeah, it was too far. Sure, yeah.
Man, all those movies are just like racist jokes.
It's probably not aged very well, I have to say.
I don't think
probably not.
Wait a minute, what have I walked into?
Police Academy.
Okay.
Just like I watched the
racist
the first Hangover the other day, and I was like, wow, this movie, how did this get so popular? And Dodgeball was pretty bad too. I'm like, wow.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Dodgeball's bad? Really?
There's like, I think if it came out now, people would like be offended by the stuff in it.
Last night, Hot Shots and Hot Shots Part 2 were on, so I want to record. I see how they rage because they were some of my favourite. I've got the DVD. I bought the DVD, the double set, years ago. Still in its shrink wrap.
Because you don't own a DVD player.
Well, I have a DVD player. I don't have a
Blu-ray.
Oh, it was Blu-ray. So like that.
Which I got 3 Blu-ray discs.
I like the part where he's shooting all those bullets and they're just piling up around him. All the shells.
That's in the second one, must be, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
In the second one, he's dressed like Hunter, isn't he?
Yeah.
I thought these are on. I thought this is my chance to actually watch them again because I remember loving them. I did watch them 2 or 3 times in yesteryear, but haven't seen them for a long time now.
I haven't seen those since the 90s.
It's
funny. I could watch all those movies and Police Academy stuff, but I could never get into the Naked Gun movies. Like ever.
Oh, I love Naked Gun. I got all the DVD. I watched them
couldn't do it. I don't know.
Many times, Naked Gun. So many times.
And like Airplane, like my wife loves Airplane, and I've never seen it.
Naked Gun and the Airplane movie must be my most watched films.
Or the Monty Python movies. I've never gotten into those either.
I've never seen them either. I'm British. It's sad, isn't it?
I had a teacher that was really into them, and so like when it was like a slow day or something at school, like he would like put on like Holy Grail on or something. But I would just like.
It's supposed to be brilliant. I haven't seen it yet. No. I did when I saw Hot Shots was on and Hot Shots Part 2. I stopped to watch for about 5 minutes, and it was still funny the 5 minutes that I saw. I thought I can't watch this now because I've got other stuff to.
What was the other one? Loaded Weapon. That was with Samuel Jackson. That one was pretty funny.
I remember watching that in cinema, but I haven't seen it.
You're definitely missing out with Monty Python because you get the quote, you get the dialogue of strange women lying in ponds distributing swords is no basis for a system of government. Supreme executive power derives from a mandate from the masses, not from some farcical aquatic ceremony. I mean, there's some great.
I've seen clips. I've seen clips of it, obviously, but I haven't seen it. What about you guys? You've seen it? You guys seen any of the Carry On movies? Carry On Doctor, Carry On Nurse.
Never heard of.
No, that's never heard of.
Oh wow, man, you've not lived. That is pure British comedy filth. Yeah, I have to.
Are they of an era like Monty Python back in the day, or are they more recent?
Benny Hill or something? Or?
They were after Monty Python. It was just. It's like it's a bit like Police Academy. They just kept making movies. The same. There's always the same comedy actor cast. Yeah. And they just did different themes. They did quite a few though in a hospital. They were the best. They were the funniest ones. They did like Carry On Camping, Carry On Up the Khyber, Carry On. There was loads of stuff.
See, we had the Pauly Shore movies for that.
I don't know. Did you ever have a series of comedy movies where it was always the same cast but doing different stuff?
Abbott and Costello and the Three Stooges is about where that tapped out. We kind of get that a little bit. There's some duos. The Will Ferrell. Well, no, Will kind of does it with a bunch of different people. But who did the Wedding Crashers? Don't they do a couple of movies together? But not necessarily a troupe or a big group that's constantly doing things like a Monty Python or like what you described.
But I don't know. They did the camp one. They did the police ones. The what are those movies called? Those guys, Super Troopers. Those guys.
I mean, I don't know whether you'll be able to get through the film watching it, but it's there's a lot of it's pretty dated. It's a bit dated by now. It's all about all the men in it. Whenever they saw any women and stuff, they would just like start foaming at the mouth and launching into ridiculous stereotypes between men and women. And there's always things about boobs and stuff in it.
Don't like the Police Academy movies.
Yeah, it was very childish. That childish kind of humor that you just wouldn't be able to make a film like it now. Okay, so I've got my script ready. So we've got Mando, Filani, Jedi Survivor. Are we going to go around the table?
It's up to you guys.
I don't know what I don't know what I'd be talking about.
Well, we've got the last 3 episodes of Mando to do. We've got the release of Jedi Survivor to mention, and then we've got May the 4th to talk about when we're out Visions Season 2 and the Young Jedi Adventures are released.
We were doing Bad Batch and we were doing Mando.
We've done Bad Batch.
We didn't finish Bad Batch.
Well, we more or less did. Well, we'll combine them together then, shall we? Mando and Bad Batch, because I feel like we already.
I thought we did finish Bad Batch.
We did
the finale.
We did. We touched them all. We just didn't spend a lot of time on it.
Because we talked about whether we should double dip, and we're like, when the Bad Batch ended.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's right.
So we did it. Right. We did it all, and then the next one would be we should all be focused on.
That's right. It took us the whole. We said we're going to talk about both, and then we thought no, we just give Bad Batch a good go, and then we spent the whole hour and a half talking about Bad Batch episode.
Oh, for some reason I thought we didn't finish.
You're not listening to the podcast.
We've done like 2 since then, so I didn't remember.
Yeah, hang on a minute. Okay. So that's roughly the order.
Sweet. So right, we have the last 3 of Mandalorian.
That's correct. Yeah.
What is that noise?
What was the last Mandalorian one we did?
The one before the last 3.
Because we talked about
the 4th to last.
The bird thing. When the kid
we did the pirate.
Yeah, maybe it was the pirate. Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't talk about the screwy. Yeah, we did the pirate one, and we didn't talk about Lizzo Jack Black one, and then the 2 good ones.
Okay, yeah. That's right.
The Jack Black one was good.
That was a fun episode.
What are you talking about?
Did we not talk about that one? Which one was that?
No, that's what we're going to today.
Is that we start on Guns for Hire? Oh yeah. Oh great. Okay. Right. Let me get the my script up. I got to change it to the right date. Okay. Got that in there. Got that in there. Okay. So we're all here. Mine is Tony, who might well turn up at some point. So let's get cracking. Everybody ready?
Yarp.
Very good. Let's go for it then.